What's up? 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 We back. So word on the street or the internet is Big Meech. Big Meech was recently released into a halfway house, y'all. Now look, right? I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I don't really know too much about the Big Meech story. Like, yo, for some reason, yo, like them big drug stories, even if I watch it, like it ain't something I'm gonna remember. Like I ain't really, got my own story. Like you feel me? Like, I know a whole bunch of stories just from being around. Like I ain't really interested in the Big Meech saga. But for video purposes, we ready to look into this whole Big Meech thing, yo. Because one thing I did find odd, and I ain't saying he told, but that 30-year sentence, I'm like, dang, he made out like a motherfucker. Now, King A, man, Ray Ski. I know ain't nothing in there. Yo, but what's up with Big Meech, yo? Is Big Meech is Big Meech silent? Yo, is Meech silent? I need to know, man. For real, cause always thought that 30-year sentence was a little strange to me. For real. What you think, King A? What you think about him? You think he's silent? Cause yo, niggas get life for large quantities of drugs. Like, you feel me? Yo, that's what I'm saying. Yo, people get life for large quantities of drugs, yo. And we talking about large quantities. And he flaunted it in front of them people. One thing I do know is the man put up a billboard in Atlanta that said, "Atlanta, the world is BMF." Like, yo, that was crazy. But in this video, I think we're gonna explore that, yo. We're gonna go through the whole situation from the time he got locked up to I seen a documentary on him, just so we can get a better understanding for people that's like me. I don't really know all about the case. Yeah, I don't really know all about the case. You feel me? So we're gonna learn together. We're gonna figure out the case together. You talking about Southwest T home too, right? Yeah, but I don't see like from what I understand, people were saying Big Meech did like a third party cooperation type of thing where he had this girl working for him, and from what I understand, she got like most of his rights. He got like most of his like he signed off like most of his rights to her, like rights to the movie. Like she do all the work for him, but they say she a cooperator. So if she a cooperator and she like I say, yo, we gonna figure it out, yo. We gonna figure it out. At least get an idea of what's going on for people that's like me, that's ain't really in tune. Like I know I watched the documentaries, I don't remember them like that. But we're gonna start off with this. No, yo, what I do remember is Southwest T was saying Big Meech was flat. Big Meech is the reason that the feds I even got on now, because he was flashy. It's always similar to like Yo Gotti and Juck. You always got that brother or somebody in the crew that's just doing a little bit too much and bringing attention to the organization, to the rest of the guys. I think it's that type of situation. Yeah, yo, he ain't talking on the phone, but yo, he was partying. When you get money like that, you can't do a whole lot of partying, yo. Not how they was doing it. So this is the video of the arrest.
These suspects were hiding out in one of the city's most popular areas. With 4 new big arrests, Atlanta police believe they have just about shut down the so-called Black Mafia family. And as our Julia Harding reports, these suspects were hiding out in one of the city's most popular areas. U.S. Marshals say this man, one of Atlanta Police Department's top 10 most wanted.
You know what? And that was my issue. That was my issue, yo. It's like, you know how people is, yo, people be selective politicking. And I already know that's how it's going to be. It's like, whenever he come on, whenever he really touch down, that's how people going to be. They don't really want to speak on it because it's Meech. Yo, but you know, we don't hold no cut cards. I had to do my time. I was facing life in prison. I ain't telling on nobody. There's not one person in prison because of me, in jail because of me. So I expect the same from everybody else. You know, if this the life you're going to live, you got to stand on it. And ain't nobody above being questioned. Nobody. Not me, not Meech, not fucking nobody. You feel me? So I ain't saying he told, but we going to get a better understanding of what's going on. What's up, Aaron? Ain't nothing wrong with looking into it. I tell you that much. And I ain't just going to cry on nobody because I know what niggas do. I know what niggas do. Niggas break the code all the time.
With 4 new big arrests, Atlanta police believe they have just about shut down the so-called Black Mafia family. As our Julia Harding reports, these suspects were hiding out in one of the city's most popular areas. U.S. Marshals say this man, one of Atlanta Police Department's top 10 most wanted, and a member of an organized crime family, is now behind bars. U.S. Marshals tell me they arrested 37-year-old Ernest Dennis and 40-year-old Jonathan Manigo here outside a Buckhead hotel. Both men, they say, are members of the so-called Black Mafia family, or BMF.
Anyone tied to BMF typically has an extensive criminal history, so we consider them to be very violent.
Investigators say the organization BMF is heavily involved in drug trafficking and has been in Atlanta at least since 2004. At that time, federal agents seized this limo with secret compartments.
What up, y'all? Fucking.
That had almost $1 million hidden inside. Within the last 2 weeks, U.S. Marshals and Atlanta police have arrested a total of 4 BMF members, including these 2 men, Ricardo Webb and Tovis Raines.
We know that they don't have the level of contacts or the drug contacts or the access to drugs and money.
With 30 years light though, Racy.
Other people the way that
they be giving niggas life, yo.
So we're definitely slowly destroying their organization.
30 years,
an organization that at one time claimed to rule Atlanta. Now agents say that's no longer the case. In Atlanta, Julia Harding, Fox 5 News.
All right, so let me see how much time. Let's find out how much time all these guys got. Let's go to the indictment. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. BMF indictment. What that boy name is? Flannery? Demetrius Flannery? Demetrius Flannery versus the United States.
According to CaseDex.com, the plaintiff, a 22-year-old young man, became permanently comatose as a result of extensive brain damage suffered in an automobile accident later determined to have been caused by the negligence of the driver of the other vehicle.
What the fuck is you talking about?
Who was a federal employee on official business.
I'm not talking about that. All right, this is a case brief. Flannery. Case text. Flannery versus United States. Let's see if that's the case. No, this ain't the case. Hold on, are we ready to find the case? Hold up. Here you go, right here. All right. So this is one of his appeals. Hit that like button, y'all. G-Man. Hey, G-Man, what you think about Big Meech, y'all? Can y'all see this? Can y'all see this? Or should I go? I gotta make it bigger. He supposed to be Can y'all see this? He supposed to be in a halfway house. Can y'all see that right there? Can't see it? All right, hold on. You can see it now, right? But you just can't see the whole screen. I'm ready. I'm ready to just read. So this is one of his appeals. It said Demetrius Flannery, a convicted felon serving a 30-year sentence in federal prison, moved for compassionate release via 18 USC, claiming that his medical conditions put him in an increased risk for COVID-19. The district court considered Flannery claims. All right, let's get to the case. So I'm sure they denied this. Nah, we gotta find the case, y'all. All right, here you go. Back in 2007, Flannery entered guilty pleas to charges of continuing criminal enterprise and conspiracy to launder monetary instruments. At his sentencing, the court described him as a leader of a vast multi-state drug trafficking operation with an extensive criminal history. So he already had a criminal history before he caught these cases, including prior convictions for drugs, weapons, and assault offenses. The court sentenced him to 360 months in prison, which was the bottom of the guideline range. Whoa. So they gave him 360 months, which was at the bottom of the guideline range. Y'all, there ain't no red flag. Let's continue. He is confined at FCI Sheridan, where he has committed several infractions, warning discipline. Over the course of his incarceration, he has slightly under 11 years remaining on his original sentence. He is 52 years old, and according to his medical record, suffers from high blood pressure. All right, so we already know he caught a break. Hold on, y'all. It gotta be one that give me the whole case. Should be at case text. That's normally where I get them whole cases from sometimes. That's not it. Damn, y'all. He gotta have some type of another appeal. United States, Flannery versus United States. That's 1983. All right, so let's go to this. So we already know he got the bottom half of the sentence. How much time? Let's see who else got arrested. How many people was arrested in BMF indictment? How many people was arrested in the BMF indictment?
34 people. According to justice.gov, 34 people have been charged in connection with the investigation, most in the past few weeks.
Shit, risky. He said he had extensive criminal history and still got the lesser of he still got the low end of the time. Yo, good lawyers to get you, yo, but they you know, you make out with a good lawyer. All right, here you go. Here we go. More than a dozen. All right, here we go. Here we go. Right here, y'all. This is in St. Louis. This is in 2003. So they still was locking up BMF members in 2003 and 2023. So BMF still going on. This is in 2003, y'all. All right. Oh no, race. I ain't say you defending nobody. We just trying to get to the bottom of it. That's all. Several members of Black Mafia family. What year this is? This is in St. Louis. How many people knew they locked up some BMF members in St. Louis last year? $34 people. Oh, okay. What year was this? How the fuck everything taking us to 2003? Leader. No, man. Atlanta. That like button, y'all. We just trying to get to the bottom of it. You just came in. They say Big Meech is in the halfway house on his way home. He be home in January of next year. We just trying to figure out what happened, you know? Because I ain't gonna lie, that 30-year sentence look light. All right. That motherfucker look light to me, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. All right, let's read this one. On September 12th, inside a small courtroom on the second floor of Theodore Levine Federal Courthouse, an anxious crowd gathered to witness the symbolic end of the government's 2-decade investigation into the Black Mafia family. One of the bailiffs barked order, no outbursts. A moment later, a team of U.S. Marshals escorted a slender man, gazing straight ahead through rimless glasses, into the courtroom. That's your Uncle T. One of the onlookers, Lucille Flannery, whispered to her grandson sitting next to her. I want to see what they got caught with. I ain't trying to hear all that. Terry's older brother, Demetrius Big Meech Flannery. His hair was pulled back in a ponytail and tattooed letters BMF peeked above his collar on the left side of his neck. He scanned the courtroom, turned to his supporters, and flashed a wide smile. The two men, both of whom pled guilty to federal drug charges last year, rose from the down and out streets of Detroit to build a massive multi-state cocaine empire headquartered in Atlanta and LA. In less than 2 decades, the Flannery brothers and the Black Mafia family amassed a $270 million fortune. Damn. The drug organizations relied on an estimated 500 employees, and with Meech's guidance, BMF helped jumpstart the careers of some of Atlanta's best-known rappers. All right, we know Jeezy. Young Jeezy was implicated in BMF drug trade during the Atlanta federal trial earlier this year of Meech's third in command. So Jeezy was the third in command and he ducked the indictment? Okay. Flammy the third Daniels. Jeezy hasn't been charged with a crime in relation to Fed's BMF investigation. Daniels, who was convicted of cocaine conspiracy as well as several of his co-defendants, including the rapper Blue Da Vinci McKnight, will be sentenced in Atlanta later this year. Meech, 40, and Tari, 38. So he was 40 when he got booked. While at the pinnacle of close to 150 defendants indicted in the federal cases across the country, the brothers and 60 associates were charged in Detroit, while Meech and Tari birthed the organization. The other indictments were handed up in Georgia, Michigan, California, Florida, and Missouri and Tennessee. So they were still functioning in Missouri. By now, most of those co-conspirators have been sentenced, including Meech and Tari's 60-year-old father, Charles Flannery, who received 18 months for using his son's drug proceeds to pay for renovations on Tari's house. Meech's second in command, Chad J. Bo Brown, who refused to cooperate and got 15 years in prison. Why is these niggas not getting no time? He refused to cooperate and got 15 years in prison. and Tari's longtime girlfriend, Tonisha Welch, who was sentenced a week before the brothers to nearly 5 years in federal prison for helping Tari launder his drug money. But most highly anticipated of prison sentences were Meech and Tari's. The brothers pled guilty in November 2007 to running a continuing criminal enterprise. Had they been convicted of the rarely invoked charge, which is similar to racketeering, influence, and corrupt organization prosecution, they would have required to serve life sentences. So they ducked the most serious charge. So they beat the RICO. Instead, they took the plea and hoped they'd receive 20 years. By law, 20 years is the minimum. Unless the brothers had been willing to cooperate with the government, they weren't. The federal prosecutors were pushing for 30 years. Most of the people who crowded the courtroom to witness the brothers' sentencing were hopeful the judge would be lenient. Meech's close friend, Tammy Cowins. Now, this is the name right here. Tammy Cowins' name came up recently because they saying that she's a rat. She's an informant. And what people are alleging is that Meech used Tammy Cowins in her cooperation to come home. Said before the hearing that both brothers had family members who depended on them financially, including Meech's 8-year-old son and 2-year-old daughters, as well as Tari's daughter. All right, so ain't none of these people catch a whole lot of time. Y'all may finish reading this? Cowins, who traveled from my home in Atlanta to attend the hearing, said Meech used his drug money to give back to his family and the community. He's portrayed as the heartless gangster with no love and compassion, and he's actually the total opposite, Cowins said. He took care of a lot of people. A lot of people ate off of Demetrius. With the two Flannery brothers seated in front of him, U.S. District Court Judge Avery Cohen asked to hear from Tari first. Tari spoke in a quiet, steady voice. He told the judge he'd never been in trouble before. He described how he'd been telling other inmates to use my life as an example to lead them in the other direction. And he said he was sorry he wasted the feds' time. So the brother never been in trouble. He home too. I'd like to apologize to the government for my ignorance and for them having to spend countless hours working the case, Tari said. I'd like to apologize to the families hurt by the result of this ignorance. Judge Kahn's response was sharp. I think you're a very lucky man that it took the government this long to build a case against you. The judge read Tari's sentence so quickly that many of his supporters missed it. He was sentenced to 30 years. As Tari was cuffed and let out of the courtroom, Meech and his attorneys were asked to approach the bench. Meech's Atlanta-based lawyer, Drew Finland, Drew Finland. That's a hell of a lawyer right there. That's what Raisky was talking about. Told the judge that Meech had requested a meeting with Tari shortly after Meech entered a guilty plea. During the meeting, Meech advised his brother to do the same, an act that would spare the government a lengthy, expensive trial. Assistant U.S. Attorney Don Eisen then said Meech shouldn't be credited for Tari's guilty plea. The meeting did not go very well, she said. In fact, it was disastrous. Eisen contended that it wasn't Meech who persuaded Tari to plea. She said it was Tari's father. When it came time for Meech to address the judge, he apologized. He said he knew an apology wasn't enough. I don't think I'm sorry is the right thing to say, he told the judge. I'm sorry is what people say when they get caught. The judge quickly sentenced Meech to 30 years too. As he was ushered out of the courtroom, Meech turned to smile again at his friends and family. Under current law, Meech will be at least 61 when he is released from prison. There is no parole in the federal system, though inmates can shave off 15% of their sentence for good behavior and can get early release through a drug treatment program. He and Tari also will get a 3-year reduction in their sentence for time served. Once the door closed behind them, his mother began crying quietly as one of her son's childhood friends confronted her outside the courtroom. In the embrace of Cowins and her granddaughter, she broke down and sobbed. All right. Yeah, they ducked the RICO. That's major. Yeah, I gotta get there. We gotta find out what happened at court. All right, so now we got that out the way. It don't seem like any of them caught a whole bunch of time. But you got this co-defendant speaking from jail. Yeah,
too big and too prolific, and it needed to be.
So this is a documentary on them. Let's check this out.
We're willing to go one step further.
Hit that like button, y'all.
We're willing to innovate one step more than the next guy was. Incredibly self-confident, strong-willed, and willing to think outside the box. In order to run a big operation the kind that BMF did, you've got to be a planner. You've got to be a thinker. You've got to be someone who can imagine a future, where your business is growing and where your reach is growing. And most of the guys that you talk to on the streets, they're interested in getting their money today, right then, right there. And these guys, I think, they were willing to think beyond that. They wanted something bigger for themselves.
We have these two brothers who came from Detroit, we came from nothing, and built literally a $270 million, by conservative estimates, organization, employing 500 people. Everybody who's described it to me, who's worked on it, has called it the biggest case they've ever worked on.
The whole idea of a black mafia family, it was like a ghost story. The cops told it like you would tell it to your kids. There was no presence. You didn't see them anywhere. But if you asked people on the street, you mentioned BMF, they wouldn't talk about it.
G said meat salad.
Selling drugs and doing drugs, but for the rest of us, we had no proof that existed. Truthfully, a lot of stuff that sounded like urban legend.
I hope he is silent.
Too big and too much to be true, but
he ducked that Rico. That was the major thing.
Moving hundreds and thousands of kilograms of cocaine.
Hold up, y'all. Before we get to this, so what did he plead guilty to? Oh, let's find out what he pled guilty to. If he ducked the Rico, what did Big Meech plead guilty to? Drug trafficking and money laundering. Okay. All right, drug trafficking and money laundering. All right, let's finish watching this. That like button, y'all.
And essentially,
Yeah, we just all right. So for people that just coming in, we trying to figure out what's up with Meech. Court 30 years. We found out they beat the Rico, so that's how more than likely he caught the time. But it's still speculation around his name. You got the Cowins girl that people say is an informant. And people saying that Meech did a third-party cooperation type of deal. So we just trying to figure out what's going on. Is it the truth or not? Do Meech deserve to have the carpet rolled out for him? Because I had to do my time. I ain't telling nobody. Shit, he need to do the goddamn same. But so far, so good. So far, so good.
Like celebrities or better than celebrities, they were taunting us. It was probably no secret to them that we were after them. They just thought they were untouchable. They were far enough removed that nothing was going to happen to them. One of the investigators said, all cocaine is 3 generations away from BMF. One part entertainment company, one part street crew. Black Mafia family was an urban dream come true. The combination was so seductive and so lucrative that during their peak, BMF had 400 people on their payroll.
Where you from? I'm from the Black Mafia family, the biggest gang in the world.
It's cross-branding, right? You've got the music, and you've got the product, and you've got the women, and you've got the image. All these things are kind of playing off one another. If you're talking about music, if you're talking about the drug trade in those days, everything was connected with BMF. That name just kept coming up over and over again. The mystique just built over and over again.
It took a lot of ability and leadership skills to hold together all the moving parts that they have going on, just like it does in any corporation or business.
Yeah, straight up.
Where they had their top level, the CEO, the COO, the CFO.
Then you had your middle managers who managed each one of the different cities.
Because I ain't gonna lie, yo. For him I think they got John Gotti on money laundering. Ain't that what John Gotti got found guilty for, money laundering? They gave his ass life in prison. You feel me? So for this man to, they say he say his fortune or the money that he made in a 12-year time frame was $270 million. The government will sit you down for that for the rest of your fucking life. So yeah, remember they said paperwork means everything. So nobody's above. Like, I ain't saying he told. I'm just saying it's worth a motherfucking check. You heard me?
Had your logistics, your couriers. They were a very good crew as far as a drug organization.
They were really, really organized. They had a lot of people working for them.
Yeah, they say he did third-party cooperation.
There's the caricature and the stereotype of what a gang leader is or what a drug lord is. You know, it's New Jack City, it's Scarface. But the reality of it is you get success through planning, through patience. And I think those guys, they had a much more sophisticated view of what this was about. They didn't say, I'm the drug lord and I'm going to act like a drug lord. They were focused on making money.
At the top of the organization stood two brothers. Demetrius Flannery, or Big Meech, was the face of the organization, the press-friendly CEO.
Demetrius tended to be more flamboyant. He was more public. He had a bigger-than-life persona, and he liked portraying that.
Terry, Southwest T, was the younger brother and had no interest in the attention. Seldom seen, he was the architect of the operation, the planner, the mastermind.
Terry
he in a halfway house.
Understated, very protective, and very shrewd.
Terry, on the other hand, was a businessman. Was every bit as
I don't know, Draco. We just looking.
As Demetrius, but tended to like to try to fly under the radar and stay low key and low profile a little
Hey,
bit.
Damien, you from Detroit? What's word in Detroit, Damien? What's in Detroit? For anybody from Detroit, yo, what's word in Detroit on Big Meech?
Terry was the quiet one. Terry was the brains behind it. He enjoyed his lifestyle.
He ran it more like a business than maybe a family.
Straight up.
Hey, happy holiday to y'all, man. What y'all got up for Hey, man, I'm trying to get everything together before next month kick in, man. And I want to get your apartment cleaned out. I was just coming up with a plan, but I need you. I need you, man.
So they got him on wiretap.
I don't like fucking with Arnold. I'm gonna have to go over to Arnold.
Don't judge.
I don't got nothing with. I don't got a number on him,
I'm gonna tell him to call you. That's who you fucking with.
Oh, okay then.
Now, that's quit doing what you want to do and do what I tell you to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Arnold, call you.
All right.
I'm a good leader, so I got good people that follow. You know what I'm saying? It's simple.
So OG, what's the word in Detroit then, bro? What they saying?
The Black Mafia family was an ambition 20 years in the making, arising from the hard streets of Detroit. Meech and Terry got into the drug game for one simple reason. They no longer wanted to be poor. By the late 80s, Meech and Terry led a small drug ring, peddling crack cocaine at local high schools.
And that's not to say that everyone who lives in these neighborhoods buys into a criminal lifestyle. But in a lot of these neighborhoods where money is scarce, opportunity is scarce, most of those people, if you called them on it and said, how can you allow this stuff to happen right outside of your home? Most of them would turn around and say to you, well, how can you criticize me for this when I have nothing?
Terry and Demetrius Flannery grew up in the hard-scrabble area of southwest Detroit, right up against the cities of Ecorse and River Rouge. Very blue-collar, tough area. And they grew up on a dead-end street, 1555 South Edsel, a gray, nondescript home at the end of the street.
You know, Meech had told me the gas would get turned off in the winter, they'd have no heat, you know, and he watched his parents who worked have to struggle through that. I mean, he told me straight up, he's like, yeah, a job at McDonald's wasn't going to cut it. I learned that. There was another route for me. He's very unapologetic about that.
You get the Flannerys back in the 80s, you get a couple guys who are kind of independent traffickers out there moving kilos and making a buck, but they don't have this monstrous organization and don't have the leadership skills and aren't as charismatic as they are in 2000.
You have reached the Sprint voice mailbox of 6331. To leave a voice message, press 1, or just wait for the
White boy.
SOS, they left me in the jungle, man. It's the jungle out here, man.
They got hella wiretaps on the motherfucker.
The Flannery brothers were on DEA's and IRS's and other law enforcement agencies' radar for quite some time.
The Detroit DEA, headed by case agent Bob Bell, had been investigating another drug trafficking crew called the Puritan Avenue Boys.
In fact, Demetrius Flannery was arrested along with a Colombian in Detroit back in 1994. However, there wasn't enough evidence to charge him. So there was information out there for years about the legend and the prowess of the Flannery brothers. They had become too big and too prolific and needed to be investigated.
Let's say it needed to be investigated. Yo, but how was yo? Listen to this thing, yo. How did they have Jeezy the third in command and Jeezy duck the whole indictment? Like, how does the third in command duck the whole indictment? You know, a lot of people question Jeezy, man. You know, Jeezy is the one that really put that trap shit on the culture. A lot of people question him. I ain't gonna lie. It is a little strange. It is a little strange, though, from Jeezy to been a part of this, then blow up musically and come out talking about Trap or Die. Like, I remember, yo, Trap or Die had people in the mind frame. If you was outside at this time, you can attest to this. Trap or Die had people in the mind frame of trapping or fucking dying. I'm keeping it all the way real. I'm keeping it all the way real, man. You turn that shit on, you wanted to get some money. Straight up. You said he had ties, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The next thing you know, he blow up musically. They go to jail, but all of them catch, you know, relatively light sentences. He did have the streets going crazy, man. No, Jeezy always been a question, bro. What the fuck? I've been questioning. I just it might be the first time I brought it to the internet. But it's a couple people question Jeezy. It's a couple people question Jeezy and his validity. Yeah, a couple people question that boy, man. I ain't like the situation with what he just had with the girl. They just pop up out the blue, then they get married. Now she pregnant. I thought that was strange. Now they fighting for custody. Old time, man, we gonna figure something out. Yeah, for real, yo.
In a complex case like
Jeezy had the streets going crazy. Everybody was hustling.
Numerous vital steps that the DEA took that enabled them to put together a case that stands close to 10 years and involved the efforts of numerous branches of local and federal law enforcement.
And it was a logistical nightmare, and the only way we were successful was by working together with
What'd he say, OG?
DEA counterparts, IRS counterparts.
What'd he say? How he duck it? We can't watch Vlad Strike channels.
Nationwide investigations. This is, the biggest one I've ever been involved with.
And we built that relationship up, built up trust, and we shared information seamlessly.
Yeah.
My job is putting pieces of a puzzle together.
A huge organization that's stretched across the whole United States. You just don't put that together in one day. It takes a lot of time, a lot of man-hour, a lot of cooperation with all the federal agencies and local PDs.
If at any time anybody wanted to, any law enforcement wanted to take down their part of the case, this case would not have ripened to its fullest extent.
With the constant threat of law enforcement, snitching, and violence, Meech and Terry needed unwavering loyalty from their crew. Meech's natural generosity was the greatest reinforcement.
It don't make no difference if you the maid or if you the motherfucking bodyguard. Everybody get extras around here, friends benefits. I'm driving this tonight. Niggas gonna be like, who is that? That's Blue with the GT Cool.
Anything that you can do to engender loyalty is going to work in your favor. Companies and corporations do it through incentive programs and bonusing. In the criminal underworld, people do it through relationships.
Hello. What up, though? What up, though?
What up, though? That's that Detroit talk.
Pulled over in my truck.
I'm up into a field of them Detroit niggas. Fuck with Detroit niggas.
Crazy, but that's the type of shit they do, though. They ain't find nothing in the truck. They ain't said shit about the tinted windows, but they claim that they smell marijuana in my truck, and I don't even smoke in my truck. That's terrible. But it ain't nothing in there, so they
yeah, I heard Craig Patterson.
No, what I'm saying is they didn't smell no weed in there. I do not smoke in that truck at all, B. Is what I'm saying, period. They just probably want to be all on it because the truck new and the car all that shit look new for a young nigga. And probably ain't none of that shit in their name. That's why they do all that shit. Yeah, they talking crazy, ain't they? They talking crazy. I'll rap with you in a minute.
If you got a robbing ass boss, then you're gonna be a robbing ass crew. If you got a real boss who know how to sacrifice and take the bad along with the good and show his crew know how to be men, then this what you get. Everybody shining like new money. Ain't no money.
Is to build loyalty amongst its members by actually putting family members of defendants, organization members on a stipend. In fact, one recorded call, Terry was talking to a defendant who was getting ready to go in for to serve his sentence. Terry offered to pay Benjamin Johnson's wife about $6,000 a month while he was away. $72,000 a year tax-free isn't bad to get by on.
They really produce loyalty through reward rather than through the threat of punishment.
Their organization gave notoriety to people who felt they were part of something exciting and important.
They were very generous with those around them. They provided a lifestyle. A lot of time was spent at clubs. There were a lot of women around.
So did they get booked too?
On the lower level, when they were part of this particular group, BMF, they had status when they walked through the door.
In BMF, if there wasn't
he was way too cocky though, y'all.
They were all brothers. They all moved together. Meech preached that jealousy, envy,
like yo, he had to have known this was going to end, yo. Like, there's no way, yo, you can be that flashy in front of the world when you know you getting your money from fucking means that the government in the United States deemed improper. You know what I mean? Y'all know I gotta pause it though, yo, so they don't copyright me and shit. So when I pause it and talk, that's the reason why. Yeah, he was way too flashy. For what I understand, that's how they got on him. They would have never known about it if it wasn't for Meech and his flashiness. Definitely.
Was not welcome at all.
We don't fall out over no girl. We hit them all. They hit my hoes, I hit they hoes. The ones that don't want to be shared, then that's your own personal one. Other than that, then we ain't falling out over no hoes.
Yeah, I bet it did.
From the onset, Meech and Terry proved to be resourceful business partners capable of capitalizing on every opportunity. When Terry was younger, he was a bystander to a shootout, and his right eye was grazed by a stray bullet. Doctors botched the surgery, and he was awarded a cash settlement, so he used that money to establish a
What about Big
sedan
T Sharita
in Detroit. The sedan service not only provided a legitimate front to wash the drug money, it provided a discreet method to transport large quantities of drugs.
But that actually became sort of the skeleton of a much more advanced fleet of vehicles that would eventually move thousands of kilos of cocaine across the country.
Yeah, they made out like a motherfucker, man.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, did the black guy get to you?
And yo, normally in these cases, right, the government don't allow you to monetize off your story. So I know he made some money off BMF, yo, but typically, yo, when you get caught like this, the government don't let you monetize off of that. They'll shut you down. But I think Meech and how he was able to monetize is he used that girl. But that girl, I forgot her name, Tammy Cowins, I think that's her name, is the one that people saying was an informant. She was cooperating. So after we watch this, we're going to find out what's up with Shorty.
No, the black car, no, it's not, but the gray one left yesterday. All right, that's good.
Oh, okay.
Ask me, do they want to go home or do they want to get in the black car when he gets there? He said he better go home. He got the thing they got to take care of. All right. Tell him to go home while I have
Tammy Cowins. Her name was Tammy.
Prior to the PA Boys' takedown, law enforcement had perceived the brothers as mid-level traffickers, small-time players in a much larger stage.
In the mid-90s, these guys are at times delivering $200,000-$300,000 to individuals
I
who are
see.
sending that money down to St. Louis and on to Colombian sources. That's who they are.
But as the DEA started to build contacts and sources, an entirely new image was coming to light.
What happens is in December
The
of
color of
03,
this
early
video is
04,
terrible, y'all.
Bob Bell, the other DEA agents, start contacting their sources to try and get as much information as they can on the Flannery brothers. Now they start hearing stories about Terry's got a mansion out in California. Meech has got places down in Atlanta. They're driving all
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying, LeVar. Like, it's a lot of things with this story that's a little strange. You know, not saying he told, but they don't normally let you monetize off your story, man. They don't. I just was covering the case. What the fuck was that? I just was, what case was that, y'all? We just was covering the case not too long ago. Damn, yo, what the fuck was that? Yo, what was that, y'all? Oh, Keefe D. If Keefe, that's why Whack 100 was trying to bail Keefe D out and push this story. Because if he get found guilty of this crime, he can't monetize off of it. He can't make no money off his story. That's why they was trying to bail him out real quick so he can push the movie out. That came out in court.
Sources.
And that wasn't even a Fed case. That's a state case.
He attempted to live like ghosts, going back probably 10 years worth of income tax return records. There were no records of them ever having filed. Along with that, they each had about at least 5 or 6 aliases and had that many different fictitious driver's licenses in several different states.
From the mid-90s to early 2000, Meech and Terry went from a $1 million a year business to a $1 million a week business.
Damn.
The only way to achieve that kind of growth in the drug trade is to increase the supply of your product. And that usually means cutting out middlemen and getting closer.
Now you heard Wisconsin said Freeway Rick Ross can't make no money either.
How the movement of drugs come here in the States. The American blacks don't really control that trade.
Demetrius Flannery went out to California. He just went out there looking for sources. He hooked up with one of the co-defendants, Wayne Joyner, California guy who knew some Mexicans.
Meech and Terry may never have risen above middle-class dealers had they not met Wayne Joyner.
He became one of the Flannery brothers' key people.
How much time he
Wayne
got?
Joyner was a drug trafficker from California who had good connections. He knew guys that could do houses.
Let's see how much time Wayne Joyner got, y'all. Hold on, let's check Wayne Joyner out real quick. How much time he caught? $200. Oh, is this the same dude? Wayne Joyner. Oh, this can't be the same person, y'all. Wayne Joyner BMF. Wayne Darrell Joyner. Eastern District of Michigan. Let's see how much time he caught. August, defendant was sentenced. This is a, motion for appeal. Defendant filed motion for production of this motion for evidence. We gotta find out how much time Wayne. So anybody know about Wayne Joyner? How much time he caught? Bad guy. Do anybody know about Wayne Joyner and how much time he caught? Why we can't find it? This is case, but they don't tell us how much time he caught. This Pacer. $14 years? Okay. Alright. We're around. So he called 14. Back.
Guys, he knew the Mexicans.
Damn, you say he got life?
The Colombians are the world's major producers of cocaine and were back in the 80s and 90s. But when the DEA started to really hammer the cartel's transportation through the United States in the Caribbean and Florida, then the Mexican trafficking routes became more important, and they started.
Hold on, yo. So did Wayne Joyner get 168 months, or did he get life? Cause I can't find it. I mean, I can't find anything clear. $14 years. I seen 14 years on. Is this it? Is this it right here? Denying appealability. So they ain't even let him appeal. Pled guilty to violations. Yeah, well, why is not telling us how much time he caught? Like, this is his appeal right here. Normally tell you how much time. Try to get his conviction vacated. Oh, all right, 168. All right, he got 168 months. So what's that? 14 years? All right, bet. So he should be home by. He should be home now. Yeah, I see he filed a motion to vacate. All right, so he should be home now. Okay, so he was supposed to have been a plug. He only got 14 years.
Traffickers to take the cocaine into the United States through Mexico. Eventually, the Mexican cartels took over all the transporting of the cocaine and getting it into the United States, about 90% of all the cocaine.
Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it.
Securing the Mexican source provided Meech and Terry with almost an unlimited supply of uncut cocaine for a substantially lower price than they could get from any U.S. distributors.
That they were purchasing at the time 15.5 per kilo. And the BMF
what you mean, Chris?
Moving at least 600 kilos a month.
This allowed them to literally.
What you talking about, OG?
Not every even top.
Oh, we fighting. You want me to read it? This is paperwork right here. This criminal case on August 21st, 2008, defendant petitioner Wayne Darnell Joyner was sentenced to a custody term of 168 months in prison. 168 months on his plea of guilt in violation 21. He did not file direct appeal. On August 7, 2009, Joyner filed a motion to vacate. He said he is innocent because the court dismissed the counts he pled guilty to. He received ineffective assistance of counsel because his counsel failed to present documents which could have shown that he had a diplomatic immunity. What the fuck? That ain't gonna work. The court is not a proper article. So what he a sovereign citizen or something? The court denied the motion for the reason stated in the government's response. Joyner then filed a motion under Fed R CIVP 60, in which he argued that the court erred in denying his 2255 motion because he was denied copies of the transcript. The court denied that motion. Before a petitioner can appeal the court's decision, deny his motion under Rule 60B, a certificate of appealability must issue. Yeah, this ain't really going into the case about him. And it's not really going into his case. Oh, he's 67 years old. All right, bet. So we got what we need on him.
Major city ever gets to that point, you have to have something special to get.
I don't know. That is wild as a motherfucker, bro. I don't know how they did that. That's crazy.
They expanded their enterprise, establishing hubs in 11 states.
I ain't never heard that before.
Terry moved to California to receive the bulk shipments, and Meech moved to Atlanta, which was an ideal distribution hub for all of Eastern America.
There's about 10 different highway routes that you can take out of the city to get out of here. And that route going from Florida all the way up through to New York, Philadelphia, and Boston, you got to go through Atlanta to get to those places. It's just physically, it's a great place to be. And also, it's a big enough city and already has enough of a drug culture of its own to provide cover for those people who are moving through the city itself.
Atlanta was definitely becoming a strategic location for the drug trade, but the culture attracted Meech too. By the late 90s, Atlanta had become a hotbed for activity for the hip-hop industry. Rappers were playing the streets with mixtapes, and famed producers like Jermaine Dupri, Outkast, Goody Mob, and Ludacris were attracting national attention. Hip-hop as a business has two very distinct worlds: the streets and the boardroom. As it became mainstream, hip-hop started generating more money than anyone expected. With the connection to the streets comes the element of the criminal underworld. There is no secret that hip-hop record labels were being started with drug money. Jay-Z, for example, has always been honest about his previous life and how he left paper bags filled with cash for radio DJs. Meech, too, was captivated with the allure of the music industry, and as he gained more money and power through his ever-expanding drug empire, he set his sights on conquering a new frontier. When the Detroit DEA decided to investigate the Black Mafia family, they knew the organization was going to be tough to penetrate.
It was such a tight-knit group. There was no way to get somebody in. We could make buys from the underlings, but as far as getting somebody into the organization itself, it wasn't going to happen.
But early on, Bob Bell and his team got a lucky break. Using confidential informants enabled the investigation. They were able to identify a phone number for a BMF manager named Benjamin Johnson.
Yo, this is what I'm saying, though, yo. If they had all this information, how the fuck did they beat the RICO charge? It looked like to me they got a rock solid case. It looked like they got a rock solid case, yo. How did they beat the RICO charge? I guess we'll find out later on in this video. But that's intriguing. That he was able to beat the RICO charge with all this fucking evidence. It looks like they got informants, they got wiretaps. All right, but let's continue. It sounded like they had a solid case.
Successfully got a court-ordered wiretap to listen in on his phone calls. After only a few short weeks, the Detroit DEA struck gold.
A couple of weeks into the wiretap, we intercepted a call. We didn't have the person's name, but we immediately knew that it was Terry Flannery by his commanding voice and Benjamin Johnson's respect.
Yeah, that don't mean nothing, Mike.
For Terry.
What up, though? Fly to Florida and drive this car back to Detroit. So. Okay, when you need me to do that, sir? As soon as possible. Okay, that's not fly to white boy. Yes, sir. You gotta drive this car like you got some sense, because a hurricane gonna come that way. Okay.
Hey, OG, what you mean? You listening to the case? They got them on wiretaps. They got informants. They got informants in the building, bro. Like, I don't understand what you mean. How can a case not be weak if you got informants and you got them on wiretap talking about business?
And knew we had an important phone to target for the next wiretap.
Getting a wire on Terry's phone was the turning point in the DEA's investigation. They had finally infiltrated the inner sanctum. For Meech and Terry to successfully run a nationwide trafficking organization, they needed to establish a protective infrastructure. They set up stash houses in key hub cities, always in other people's names, and usually in mansions in upper-class neighborhoods.
There is something that you get for living in those kinds of neighborhoods, and one of them is it's a safe place, not just in terms of keeping it away from the police, but in terms of keeping it away from other offenders. Somebody knows that you got $9 million worth of drugs in your house. They're going to come looking for it.
The various stash houses had nicknames. There was the elevator, the gate, the White House, and then there was the
my case wasn't strong though, bro.
Modern multi-million-dollar enclave that had a
they had me like they didn't have me saying anything on wiretap. Like my phone was tapped and all that shit. Like they didn't have my case was weak.
200 kilograms of cocaine located in the heart of Buckhead, the wealthiest neighborhood in Atlanta.
Buckhead residents are snooty. They don't like outsiders, but how a large national black organization managed to, with the flash and the bling and the
I mean, you can beat charges. You know, he had my man said he said it was 848 counts. So you can beat certain charges, but the RICO count they beat that's the count that would have set him down. I mean, I guess we still got like 30 minutes of this. I guess they explain it.
If your dog walks on your curb, even the day we took everything down, we had more people on our backs about that. Yeah, we were making noise. But it's like, yeah, we made noise, but they never complained about him.
In charge of the stash house was J-Bo Brown, Meech's second in command.
J-Bo was really just kind of being the general manager of the BMF. He would be like at the stash houses when the drugs would arrive. Like Meech would never be in the same room. Drugs or anything like that, so it's almost like doing some of the dirty work that Meech really couldn't do or wouldn't do. So he was the guy who was really just running the ships for him.
Another innovation that the two brothers used, which was not all too uncommon, was sophisticated traps in their vehicles to hide the cocaine and the money as they moved city to city.
You have cars like this, and they want to build secret compartments. How does that work?
You have people that sell jewelry for a living. They need to carry around their products. They need to carry around money. Sometimes they have weapons for their personal protection. It varies according to what you want to put into the vehicle. Basically, in a vehicle like this, you know, we could take this entire area. We could take that carpet and we can cut it. We can reattach it to a piece of aluminum and bolt that to a welded enclosure under the vehicle. Then we can make that piece pop open. We can make it motorized up. We can make it airtight. We can make it waterproof. We can make it however you want it, and it would look like there's nothing there. You could take this vehicle back to GM, and they wouldn't even know it was there.
They had a Lincoln limo. They had about $1 million in a secret compartment, and no one was able to find this money until 2 years later. They can be built that sophisticated.
Yeah.
You can hear the halfway house crimes.
Was a moving trap. They were amazing. I had to admire them.
Yeah, he definitely did a whole lot of talking.
Nobody who's below this level of management can even know how to open the traps.
Yeah, I agree, OG.
These cars to access the drugs. I mean, which would basically be like, okay, put the car in reverse, turn on defrost, hold a magnet up to the dash, and turn on the windshield wiper.
These traps were high-tech, very sophisticated, electronic, hydraulic. Some of them had vacuum pumps in them to try to overcome or thwart drug-detecting canines. It would make it difficult.
So if Meech caught 30 years in 2008, 28, he probably got on good time. That's about right.
Hummer limo.
He ain't get out early.
Notwithstanding the best efforts of law enforcement to find the secret panels, we managed to miss it. I think
38, hold on, what's that, 38?
Bought the limo, managed to find $1 million.
18, 28. All right, it 38. Yeah, 18, 28. Oh, that is early. Hold up. He caught 30 years in 2008. let's say he caught in 2005. That'll put him at 2000 and what? 35? He got 3 years of supervised release. That'll put him at 2035. He definitely got out early somehow. He probably gave a little bit of time back, y'all. I don't know, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Became possible when he was introduced to a young, aspiring artist.
What you talking about, Christopher?
Who was rapping.
I can't understand what you're saying.
They shared a common vision, and Meech took an immediate affection to the young artist. Shortly after, the two founded BMF Entertainment. For the entire lifespan of the record label, Blue Da Vinci was...
So Michael, you saying he was supposed to do 27 and a half years? So with that, if he caught the time in 05 or 08. I think we read that he caught the time in 08, but he got time served or credit from 2005. So if you figure what, 2005, 27 years, 2015, 2025, it'll be 20 years. 2025 is only 20 years. $2032. Okay. All right, that's what you're saying. He only got 27. All right. Try to make sure everything line up, you know.
The only artist
signed. What we focusing on right now is Blue Da Vinci. I believe that most labels take so much time out and focus on so many artists that you can never get the realness.
I've been trying to keep up with you, bro. I'm not understanding.
10 or 20 artists. That's why all our independent focus is on what Blue Da Vinci gonna do. If he take off, then we take off. If he don't take off, then we don't want to take off. Simple.
The video that you showed me, why do you think you're talking about Jewish people? What video, y'all?
The business that they chose
what video you talking
to
about?
hide behind, to use as cover, was also an industry that was critical for
Meech got a profit agreement?
improving their reputation.
I probably can get it.
And providing them with the social capital.
It is still early, even if it was 27 and a half years. That is still early.
And it provided a fantastic cover for them. It was totally realistic. When you see these guys and say, well, they're part of the music industry. They look the part, they act the part, they understand the culture.
That's why I'm at with it, Kron.
It's not like they were trying to open up.
Like and that's why I'm at with it. I'm just trying to make sure everything line up. You know, I had to do my time. Everybody I know did their time. Ain't nobody implicate nobody. Ain't nobody do nothing crazy. You know, and I just expect that from, you know, if you're gonna praise a motherfucker, if he gonna come home being saluted, I expect that from him. You say he did 27 and a half. He didn't do 27 and a half though. He ain't do nowhere near 27 and a half. Like at all. Like he didn't do nowhere near 27 and a half. He caught the time in 2005. That's only 19 years. That's only 19 years. But it seems like all of them caught. It seems like all of them made out. It's like all of them made out, and Jeezy ducked the indictment completely. Okay. I don't know, y'all. We gonna look into this this Tammy Cowins chick. We're gonna look into her too. Because that's what the rumor around Big Meech's name is. They say he did a third party cooperation, and he used the girl, and the girl is the reason he coming home early. That's what the rumor is.
a bunch of McDonald's or something like that.
And this BMF entertainment thing is more than just a record label production, some niggas doing music or just some street niggas. Man. This is really all about
that's what the room is.
And linking up motherfuckers from the streets, man, from all over. No matter where you from, no matter what you look like, how fat you are, whatever.
And see, this another thing too, y'all. Southwest T case is different from Meech's. Southwest T ain't got no record. Southwest T ain't never been in trouble before this indictment. Meech been in trouble several times. That's why it's a difference. Like, I can understand Southwest T getting out early. He ain't never been in trouble at all. He probably was good in there. He probably did some programs. But Meech's case is different. Meech is supposed to be the head of the organization. Meech got several priors. He's still caught on the low end of the 30. And he's still home early, even with the 30. That's all. No, you got to question. Nobody's above being questioned at all. I don't give a fuck who it is.
Money in a lot of sense, man. We looking for.
Nobody said what?
Some of these black dollars happen.
I don't know. We just checking, y'all.
One of Big Meech's biggest self-proclaimed legacies was that he unified gangs from all over the country. Crips, Bloods, GDs,
they don't respect me.
They all stood together underneath his black flag.
And we got all type of niggas around.
Okay.
Short niggas, tall niggas.
What you mean, OG? I ain't saying he told. We just, yo, see, that's the problem, yo. And that's why, yo, nobody's above being questioned, yo. I don't give a fuck if it's Big Meech, Big T. I don't give a fuck if it's fucking Lord Melvin from Baltimore. Yo, nobody is above being fact checked. Motherfucking Freeway Rick Ross. I don't give a fuck who it is. Because I don't put shit past none of them. None of them. That's all I'm saying. I don't put shit past none of them guys, man. I don't give a fuck how revered they is. Shit, it's questions. And it's questions around, yo. It is. Like, I'm keep it all the way real. It's questions around, yo, man. People saying the girl Tammy ain't right. This girl supposed to have his life rights. She make all the moves. That's probably how BMF was even supposed to be a thing. And he profiting off his story. You can't typically do that, yo. You can't typically profit off your story, yo. Man, I'm not talking on your city. I'm talking on a person that's a public figure that just happened to be from your city.
Whatever you want, we do it all. We don't discriminate. Matter of fact, after you leave here, you end up getting your teeth on something and coming up with something better. You know what I'm saying? Like a new car, new house, maybe the kids get to go to school, private school, paid for, courtesy of the mob. You know what I'm saying? We pay. You know, that's simple. A lot of niggas don't like to spend their money. We love to spend our money.
In a halfway house.
None of this shit with us.
This phenomenon is a testament to how BMF grew.
Most guys who want to establish a drug empire,
salute.
Off of the stereotype of
my man, more to live for.
And part of that is the violence.
With daily images of cartel-related bloodshed being broadcast,
I ain't saying he told, he probably didn't tell.
And gang violence running rampant in our own cities,
look into it.
We have an immediate prejudice that the drug trade goes hand in hand with violence. Meech and Terry took a different approach to extend their reach. Upon entering new territories, they presented themselves as businessmen, and through diplomacy, they created alliances with existing criminal entities.
They kept their eye on the ball, because, you know, you get enough bodies laying around, and law enforcement attention is going to come your way probably faster than when there's not that type of activity.
Yo, what I always say,
what made them so successful.
What I always tell y'all though, yo, as long as, and that's what the streets gotta understand, yo, it's the killing. Yo, you can make all the money in the world. Yo, the minute bodies start dropping, yo, every block that I seen jamming that had a nice long run, yo, they didn't get hot until people started dying. When people start dying, that's when the feds is coming in. Indictments, they're gonna indict the whole block. They coming. And that's what people gotta understand. Like, yo, it ain't the money aspect, it's the violence. Once you bring violence to a block, everything dies. That's why I say you can't get money and beef at the same time. Like, yo, they don't really be tripping about the bread, yo. It's the murders. Well, unless you're making too much money, then they gonna get on your ass. But if you're making a couple hours and it ain't a whole bunch of crime going at, well, ain't a whole bunch of murders going on, man, them motherfuckers will turn up a cheek. But the minute people start dying, it's a rat. What I do, OG? I've been saying that since I've been on YouTube.
Because they never engaged in a lot of violence, so that the attention was never drawn to them in the way that it might be to another group of people.
As much as Meech was a natural negotiator, the bottom line was probably the most persuasive element in BMF's success. With their vast supply, the brothers offered kilos of coke for only 17 grand, $2,000 to $3,000 less than their competitors.
What you talking about, Crystal? Who ain't coming together? Yeah, they got Southwest T doing too much talking, boy.
Hello? Uncle Duty, wrong phone. Huh? Wrong phone.
Yeah, he love them phones, man. Who said that in the comments?
Hey, didn't you the new chip to the new phone? My new check, which one? The last one I got? The new chip. Which one's the phone that I get? Oh, yeah, I still got it. No, he ain't give it to me. He said he couldn't get a hold of Doug or some bullshit, and I had to leave. You got the old phone?
Hell yeah, fly guy.
You got it on? Yeah,
Yo,
I
let
ain't
them
got no time on
phones.
it, though. You told me to bring out the time.
Often, while we were intercepting Terry talking on a particular phone, he would be using push-to-talk phones in the background, having other conversations. So he had multiple phones going at any one time, and then of course had a reserve of phones for him and his organization members. So about the best thing we could do was, as Terry would transition
Who not coming
from one
together?
phone to another, was to try to keep pace and spin to the next phone. And we successfully did that with about 3 of Terry's phones.
Okay. It just was a BMF bust in St. Louis last year.
The DEA sat back and listened for 5 months.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to that
and laid
too.
out the foundations of their investigation.
It is from this monitoring that
I got
we're
one of them
able
on the
to
line
find
now.
out information about participants or co-conspirators. We're also able to determine whether or not there is any drug activity taking place.
We were able to listen to Terry direct the driver to take some kilograms of coke down to Louisville, Kentucky for distribution. That aided us in conducting a traffic stop and seizing 10 kilos in that particular load vehicle.
This case could have ended with the wiretap on Terry's phone. DEA had him directing a guy to take the dope down south. They intercepted that car, got the dope. There was a decision made. DEA, IRS.
Yeah, that is ironic, fly guy. I was thinking the same thing.
We're gonna take it as far as we can go.
Southwest T was mad at Meech. He mad at Meech for being too flashy and flamboyant, but meanwhile, he a chatty patty. And he the one got him jammed up.
People who are helping them launder their money. And that's what happened.
Over the
I
course
definitely
of
got
5
that in the
months,
lineup.
the DEA compiled over 900 pages of transcripts from Terry's phone calls, but there was not one phone call between Terry and Meech.
Terry
okay.
used to like to dilute and reconstitute his kilograms, stretching the number of kilograms to increase his profits, while Meech's theory was don't sit on it, move it, and he enjoyed a reputation of distributing very pure kilograms. So on the street,
That's how you get
Terry's cocaine was referred to as Moet. Not bad champagne, but Meech's is referred to as Cristal, top shelf champagne.
None of what matters in the real world. Chris, what are you talking about,
That
man?
wiretap in April of 2004, while Demetrius was on house arrest down in the Atlanta area, his underboss, Chad Brown, was going around talking to Terry's customers, saying, Terry's dope is no good. He dilutes it. It's poor quality. You should be buying dope from Demetrius and our side. That upset Terry very much.
Weed is bad. Hey, Christopher. Yo, your United States is never going to stop drug selling. Ever. It's always going to be a part of this country. It's always going to be a part of the fabric of society. These motherfuckers funded a war off of it. So it's like, yo, I'm not going to sit here and act and be naive. I ain't going to sit here and be naive and be like, yo, we got to stop selling drugs. It'll never stop. Ever. They don't want it to stop. It's too profitable. It's not going to stop, bro. It's not going to stop. So the best thing I can do is tell people how to move about it the correct way, if that's the life you're going to live. Should you live it? No. Is it something that you can do for 10, 15 years straight and finish and be like Meech? More than likely not. You'll make out much further and you'll make out much better and get further in life doing it the right way. But am I going to act like that this is not a way of life that's always going to be here? Man, fuck no. We ain't going to do that at all. I'd be misleading if I was to do that.
Confronted Chad Brown in a house that was full of girls, his friends, and embarrassed him, and was screaming and yelling, waving the gun around, accusing him of attacking Terry's livelihood. Demetrius believed that Terry should have had that conversation with him out of loyalty for his side of the organization. He said, Terry may be my brother.
How you going to stop anything? The fucking pharmaceuticals selling more drugs than any goddamn buy. How are you going to stop it? Like, yo, we're not going to do that, yo. We're not going to be naive. We're not going to do that. It's not on Keep It G News. We're not going to do that. What you mean ain't no right way? It is a right way. It is a right way. It's a right way to do everything. So it's a right and a wrong way to do everything. I don't know, because he tripping. Now I'm going to get back to what's going on.
Brother, but we're done. And it probably was the reason that we were unable to identify a phone for Demetrius and never successfully intercepted any of his phone calls.
Coming in at the top of the game. We got all the cars we want, all the houses we want, all the clothes we want,
okay,
all the jewelry we want, and all the hoes we want. We don't need nothing else but to make good music.
By 2004, Meech had solidified himself as a
public exactly.
He was actively sponsoring young rappers in and around Atlanta.
His father was a musician, surrounded himself with musicians. I think that he had a genuine love of the rap scene in Atlanta in particular, which was blowing up in a big way at the time, in large part thanks to his willingness to sort of sponsor rappers.
Y'all tripping,
really
y'all.
did think that if he could
If
get
y'all
a big
think,
break
this is the last thing I'm going to say. Yo, if y'all think for a second, 1 second, that America is interested in stopping the drug problem in this country, you are fucking sadly mistaken. Sadly mistaken. You know how much drugs fuel the economy? Do y'all know how much drugs fuel the economy? Do y'all remember? Y'all don't even know. I'm going to give y'all a hypothetical situation, right? And people that know. I remember, hypothetically, this is, it might not be true, it might be. But I remember it was a time when there was a drought. Everywhere. Couldn't find nothing. And guess what happened, y'all? You won't believe what happened. You won't believe what happened. El Chapo escaped from prison. Next thing you know, for people that know. El Chapo escaped from prison. And I'm going to leave it like that.
Might be able to stop the illegal stuff. Maybe that's not reality.
Maybe it happened, maybe it didn't.
What he said.
Meech pumped excessive amounts of money into Blue's hip-hop career, believing that his financial backing could launch a young rapper into stardom. At a time when most record labels were faltering and budgets for music videos...
You was outside, you know what I'm talking about.
Meech spent a little over $500,000 on a little-known track, We're Still Here.
Yo, it is a right way, yo. What I mean by it's the right way is, yo, these people, yo, you can get money. They don't mind you getting money. Unless you get too much money. The problem lies that when people start dying. When people start dying, that's when they shut the whole operation down. This is a fact. I'm not speculating. I've been outside for a very long time, yo. I've seen it a million times. The minute bodies start dropping, feds start coming, indictments start coming. But before that, man, them motherfuckers will ride right past your block, knowing what you're doing. At least in my city. Yeah, that'll get you jammed up too. Straight up.
Instead of getting 5
I bet he
artists,
couldn't.
you put 100,000 into each one of those artists, and you're doing everything small. When you put the whole $1 million,
You sure do, Trap Star. How ironic is that? Every year. Come on now, man. We ain't gonna act stupid.
100,000 between these 5 artists, and you got Sheep Project. Nobody may not recognize none of the 5. Yo, BMF Entertainment is in the house, you guys. If y'all haven't seen it, you just don't know.
The hype seemed to have an impact. BMF's image, street credibility, and apparent success attracted many rising artists. Blue Da Vinci was seen in many music videos with Young Jeezy and Fabulous, and he was regularly collaborating with known acts including Jadakiss and Nelly.
So Ty Money. So Ty Money, you ain't never seen a dope strip go 5 to 10 years, yo, or 5 years straight and get money, and a minute bodies start dropping, everybody get indicted. You ain't never seen that, and you from Baltimore. What part of the city you from? 'Cause I didn't seen it. I didn't say it. How can y'all be sitting there saying that when you got, you still got open air fucking drug, like, how y'all gonna sit here and say that? Y'all can't really, y'all from Baltimore. We still got open air markets in our city. Open air. Open air markets. So how can y'all sit there and say that? There's no way you from the city, y'all. Okay, so y'all know we got open air spots in our city right now. Been going on for years. Black ain't been indicted for years. So how can y'all say that? Come on now, y'all tripping. Man, I'm talking about the whole city police out that bitch. Like this. 24/7. 24/7 out there. Like, man, come on now, man. Now look, where y'all at? Come on, man. Right. I ain't gonna say no names, but you know them. They ain't indict the whole block yet. And they ain't going to. And they out that bitch 24/7. You ain't seen the whole indictment where they swept the block yet. I done seen plenty shots that went on for years. And they didn't get on to them people until people start dying by way of murder or, like my man said, overdoses. Other than that, they don't fucking, but not in our city. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Right. Then we ain't want to talk about the pharmaceutical companies and how they profit. Like, we're not gonna sit there and act like, nobody wants to stop the drug problem. Nobody wants it. It's too profitable. Time out, you ain't from Baltimore then. You ain't from Baltimore. Cause we still got some. We still got some. Currently, right now, every day, all day. You can go down that bitch from 9 in the morning to fucking 12 at night, and they gonna be out that bitch. Exactly, a whole bunch of them, man. Like, y'all tripping, man. Y'all tripping, man. Why y'all hate when y'all interrupt the live like I'm lying or something, yo? Like, I don't do no lying, yo. Like, I wouldn't even have said it if it wasn't a real thing. I wouldn't even have said it. Wouldn't even have said it.
Real movement going on right here. Young Blues, Benji Young, Jeezy, Baby D, and the rest of the motherfuckers that roll with the BMF Entertainment Squad.
I ain't talking about you, OG.
There was an intercepted call between
man. If you really been outside, you done seen
Terry
it.
poured his heart out to his sister. He was very frustrated with Demetrius, very angry over their split. He was very concerned that Demetrius's flamboyant lifestyle was going to cause.
No, I didn't say nobody got locked up or dead, y'all. I'm talking about the whole block getting indicted. I'm talking when they indict the whole block. Of course, people get locked up, man. I'm talking when they indict the whole block. Of course, people die. I'm talking about when beef starts. Beef kills the block. It kills it. Yeah, somebody might get killed. I ain't talking. Come on, yo. Like, we gotta be real, yo. I'm talking about when you outside and you getting some money. They will let you get some money. It's when beef start and now bodies are dropping. Not one person, not two people. I'm talking about war. Kills the block. Everybody getting indicted. Everybody's going to prison. That's how that works. And I've seen situations. And if you from the city, you have seen situations where I'm sure it's not just Baltimore. It's probably everywhere. Yeah, it's always like that. Now you can't get no money in beef, yo. That's what I was saying. Like, yo, you can get some money, y'all. You can get some money. It's when motherfuckers start dying. You playing semantics, y'all. You playing semantics. Of course, you shouldn't be doing it. Yeah, it ain't no wins in the end. But what I'm saying is also, it's two ways. Everything ain't just, point blank. If you're gonna, you can get some money, yo. You gotta cut the beef out. What the problem right now is beef is being promoted. Beef is like the thing to do. That's why ain't nobody getting no money, because they want to beef. But I remember a time when niggas wasn't trying to beef. You beef, you fuck the block up. Fuck the block up when you beef. Now you can't come outside. Niggas spin around. You already worrying about the police, and then that's when the indictments come. That's when the indictments come. They indict this side. They indict this side. Now everybody going to prison. But if that beef would never happen, you probably could have had 3-4 year run. You probably could have made enough money to take that money and do something else with. Yeah, it's the same every city. It's the same everywhere. They say, the game don't change, only the players, man. The game don't change.
Identify what they were doing and bring heat on the whole organization and bring them down. The irony of it was that Terry's calls were being intercepted by DEA.
How you doing today, son? Yeah.
You'll say nobody get locked up. Nigga, of course niggas get locked up, man.
You gave me a real name? I gave him everything, and you know what he gave me a problem about? That kid. What kid? About over there. About that other situation. Yeah, that's what they said. They sent the people to the house about that. Yeah, because he went real crazy over that, too. But he was mad because he couldn't find nothing. That's why he did that, too. All right, so I know what to do for that. Okay, thank you, sir. All right.
About the same time, the Detroit DEA was developing their investigation on Terry's side of the organization. Bolton County prosecutor Rand Sahi was overhearing rumors of the mysterious Black Mafia family's presence in Atlanta.
The whole idea of a Black Mafia family was like a ghost story. Cops told, like you would tell to your kids.
Yeah, because they don't want to get money no more. They want to kill now.
But if you asked people on the street, you mentioned BMF, they wouldn't talk about it.
People used to try to duck beef. People knew what that did. Killed the black.
We had no proof that existed.
The Atlanta
Ain't nobody
side of the
trying beef.
investigation began on the night of September 7, 2003. Police were alerted to a shooting after an opposing crew targeted a BMF stash house.
Yeah,
for a
they
robbery.
definitely had big
We had a
respect.
case. It was a shooting, a home invasion, where the people who were in the home actually shot the invaders, moved everything out, dropped the invaders off at the hospital, but they left a key of coke in the process of cleaning out their house. Their house had a large bank-type vault in it.
Yeah, fuck no, that never happened again.
That's where it started.
One of the men arrested.
Yeah, that would be a left. Hold up, bro. Shit.
Financial consultants.
It was Doc Marshall and Kenneth Harvey, the two defendants in that case.
Doc was very smart with numbers. He was really like called the CFO of BMF. He ran all kinds of spreadsheets and reports for both Meech and Terry.
Bill Marshall is the kind of guy that drug traffickers need.
He knew how to work the financial side of things and obtain loans on cars and homes and to cover up the source and ownership.
Look, that's the same
Without
thing.
a guy like Bill Marshall.
That's the same thing that got these boys hot. The shootings, yo. Shootings get you hot, man. Shootings will kill everything, yo. When people start dying from overdoses and murder, yo, that will stop everything. That's what I'm saying, yo. It was a time, yo. If you was outside, yo, you tried to avoid that shit. Yeah, you know, beef gonna come, yo, but you ain't never wanted to get out of control, yo, because now the money stops. Now when the money stops, now what we gonna do? Now we can't go outside because niggas spending. Like, it's just too much. It was a time, yo, when you was outside, you wanted to get some motherfucking money. You ain't really want beef to become a thing, yo, because it ruins it. It ruins it. Now you can't, you went from making $1,000 a day to making 300. You feel me? Because now the police spinning around, like it just brought too much to the block. It brought too much to the neighborhood. But right now, especially with this drill music movement, they don't even want to get no money. All they want to do is kill. All they want to do is rob. All they want to do is steal cars. They don't want to do nothing but that. That's the difference between now and how it used to be.
They cannot enjoy the fruits of their labor.
The incident was not the first time Doc Marshall had come up on law enforcement's radar. He first came on our radar during a roundup on the Puritan Avenue investigation.
Yeah, for real, Big Low.
A BMW 760.
Couldn't just do that, yo. You just had to get word before you can make a move. You make the wrong move, motherfucker might knock you off.
Business called Exquisite Empire, which was based out of Atlanta. As police searched the
gangs killed that in Baltimore.
A key notebook that contained obvious drug records of the trafficking organization, including associates' names and phone numbers and straw buyers' identities. The shooting at Doc Marshall's house was Atlanta's first taste of the Black Mafia family, but it was not its last. Meech himself made headlines 2 months later for his involvement in a high-profile double homicide.
Look, see?
On the night of November 12th,
this shit got him hot. The shooting.
Meech was treated in the ER for a gunshot wound to his buttocks. Earlier that night, there was a shootout outside of Club Chaos, a hot nightclub in Atlanta.
Then he got into it with
One of the men
Diddy.
killed at the club was P. Diddy's bodyguard, Anthony Wolf Jones.
Wolf was a well-known guy here in New York who was very much a street guy, and Wolf was one of these guys that you really would mess around with. You know, he had a very quick temper.
The story goes that Meech was hanging out with Jones's ex-girlfriend, and Jones would not have it.
Can argue
Man, Baltimore open air, yo, for the most part, still.
Meech had his guy with him, and Wolf had his guy with him, and ultimately Wolf and his guy lost.
Meech was initially arrested for the double homicide. The Atlanta Police
Now,
Department
Baltimore and
conducted
DC,
a search on a
two different
mansion
places.
they believed to be Meech's residence.
They hit the Speller Lake House,
Ain't a DMV.
which is a Flannery house. They go there looking for a gun that they believe Demetrius Flannery may have used in the shooting at the club down there.
And Glizzy not from
Although the murder
Baltimore.
weapon was never found, a notebook.
Man, speak to Ag Glizzy. I fuck with Ag Glizzy. But Ag Glizzy, yo, Baltimore is different. DMV is closer to DC. Baltimore sits by itself. Like, for the most part, yo, people from Baltimore don't even consider themselves DMV. I be saying DMV because I understand, like, on a the grand scheme of things, I think Baltimore have to associate themselves to the DMV because it's not enough on the internet anyway. Baltimore is not big enough to become mainstream or become big. So you got to embrace the whole DMV. But the streets of Baltimore, they don't embrace the DMV. The DMV is DC and the surrounding counties. Montgomery County, Laurel, PG County. Baltimore is just Baltimore City and Baltimore County. You might can stretch it to Ellicott City, Howard County, but some people don't even take it that far. Like our metropolitan area is really just Baltimore City and Baltimore County. Yeah, DC got the DMV.
Similar to the one seized at Doc Marshall's house was recovered. The Atlanta investigation was heating up, but Meech's murder charges would soon be dropped. No witnesses would come forward, and as Jones was shot from behind, there was not enough evidence to maintain the charges.
It was a justified shoot, no matter how bad everybody wanted to get Meech. That was one where the evidence pointed to the fact that they were defending themselves. Jones stepped out of line.
Over the course of the next 3 years, the Black Mafia family's reputation in Atlanta grew more imposing and violent.
They were violent. They would walk into clubs and take over the clubs. They wanted your girlfriend, they'd take your girlfriend. They wanted your car, they'll take your car. And there was not a damn thing you could do about it.
The gang's numbers swelled, and their ominous presence loomed throughout the city's nightclubs.
There were stories of people getting thrown off balconies at bars, punched in the face and kicked and stomped. That was the reality of BMF. You know, so for every grandmother whose grocery bill they paid for at Publix, there was 3 grandsons lying in the hospital somewhere with broken bones.
What it is. Hey, yo, if y'all can become members to the channel, yo. I need to get my members up, man. Salute to Robert Banfield for being a member. Salute to everybody that's a member. Yeah, they be trying to act like they don't like our accent. I know they like it for real.
It was impulsive and senseless, but at times the motives were far more menacing.
Gucci Man. What Gucci Man got to do with this?
I got some shit that'll stand you up, and I got some shit that'll take your life in this motherfucker. Nigga, this that 357, nigga, that Trey Pound, nigga, Magnum, nigga, with a lot of gunpowder behind each shot. It's that shit that's gonna blow you about 4 feet back, nigga.
Yeah, we fuck with Memphis too, straight up. Memphis go hard. And Detroit. Detroit, Baltimore got a serious connection right now through music.
Organization, Meech became openly defiant in believing his hip-hop company could blur the line between art and reality.
Probably no secret to them that we were after them. They thought they were untouchable, and they were taunting us.
Blue, man, this man is interfering with my business. You need to get down here and talk to this man. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to count this. I don't know why somebody let him in the room to see what's going on anyway.
In 2004, he even commissioned billboards in Atlanta claiming the world was BMF's, a throwback to Scarface's mantra.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I've got Anne Arundel County. Yeah, you're right. But not even that far, Anne Arundel.
With the district attorney himself.
Westport, Cherry Hill, Baltimore City, Baltimore County. Yeah, that's Baltimore, pretty much.
Took the handcuffs off of us.
Meech was put under constant surveillance, and an Atlanta-based task force was assigned to topple the family. They used similar strategies of the Detroit DEA and got a wiretap on a low-level dealer.
Once the wires were running, they were manned 24/7. I don't believe that we ever came off of them. And then a lot of the agents, Chip Cook, Mike Hannon, these guys would come in when they weren't scheduled, just to go back through and review. They put the case together.
How much time he
Their
caught?
diligence paid off, and they were able to spin up several times, all the way up to a high-level BMF manager favored by Big Meech himself.
How much time Amari McCree caught? Let's check him out. That's how Amari McCree. How much time Amari McCree caught? Fuck you. Oh, he turned to informant. We ain't got to worry about how much time he caught. Turned informant, arrested for beating, so he ain't catch no time. He beat his girlfriend up when he came home. Fuck him. He's a fucking goofy. Putting his hands on women. But what I tell y'all about rats, most rats probably do put their hands on women. Yeah, I told y'all, yo, that snitching is a character trait. Yeah, I told y'all, your rats got character flaws that come with them. I wouldn't be surprised. Y'all wouldn't be surprised if they did a study on snitches and most of them put their hands on women. For real, y'all. Yo, it ain't funny though. But for real though, that's the shit that's the shit we be talking about though, man. That's why the Woodies and the Butter, that's why we be so against them people, yo, because I'm telling you, they not people that you should be watching or supporting on any level. Like they fucked up individuals. That's fucked up though.
They would watch The Wire on HBO, and they would talk about it. we would sit there white knuckled.
What's up,
the episodes where they would throw all the burners away, and they would talk about, good things these idiots down here don't know how to wiretap, or or they get paranoid. Go, let's just text, or they say, call me on this number. Talk about kilos of cocaine, being like, hey, did you pick up the trees? I got 50 trees sitting in my car. They gave us a blueprint for what they were going to do every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know it's fucked up. I hate it.
Evidence mounted, the Atlanta Task Force conducted a series of takedowns on BMF associates and stash houses.
Meech had started to see ghosts. He was seeing cars and cops everywhere he went.
The heat was on Meech, and he knew it. He pulled his crew out of Atlanta and headed toward Miami.
He had a female assistant, Yogi. She disappeared first. Once she disappeared, we knew that this was in the wind, so we decided to do it all at once. He was ordering everybody out. People were scrambling. It was almost anticlimactic. There was no arrests. We hit all the houses and everybody was gone.
Meech had adhered to a strict doctrine: never talk on the phone, never be around.
They must have
never put anything in your own.
They must have police connection.
He thought this code would insulate himself from law enforcement, but now he found himself on the run.
A lot of times, the dope never touches the hands of your top level guys. So sometimes the only way to link up to that dope is to follow the money back to them.
The $1 million joints, man, from state to state, man. We really, really doing it.
Large sums of cash. Well, where's that coming from?
We caught a break with some of our intelligence and financial records, and that changed people's perception from it's an urban legend to, wow, these guys are actually making millions and millions of dollars and essentially living better than celebrities.
I mean, flying around in Learjets, staying in presidential suites, living in multi-million-dollar homes in multiple states. Meech was down in Miami. There was a place he was renting there, this gated house, at like $30,000 a month.
Damn.
Every place we stay at, LA, Atlanta, Detroit, we have homes, our own homes. We don't have to go in and rent shit. We got our own houses, we got our own cars, we got our own hoes, we got our own clothes.
Damn, that's crazy.
It was claimed that the funds were legitimately being generated through the entertainment branch of BMF.
You don't know all the money that Demetrius Flannery spent in the clubs, or on clothes, or on girls, but we know from the investigation that was documented, $1 million plus in cars purchased, $400,000 in cash for a car, $250,000 in cash for a car, $100,000 in cash for a car. Terry Flannery's house on Mulholland Drive, 600 and some thousand cash through bank accounts to, make that purchase. To put a number on it,
damn.
Millions.
They felt that on the business side of things with the music, that's seen as so legitimate that it provides cover for all of these expenditures that you're engaging in.
Meech had a fleet of luxury cars fit for a sultan. Rolls-Royce Phantoms, Bentley Continentals, Lamborghinis.
Apparently he maybe had the only white Maybach in the United States.
Dang.
He had one shipped to himself, Saudi Arabia.
it wouldn't take an auditor very long to realize that there was way more money being spent than would be coming in through hip-hop.
For Meech's 36th birthday, he threw himself a $1 million star-studded party at the Atlanta nightclub compound, complete with champagne fountains and live exotic animals.
That's the part of him I really liked, the Meech of the Jungle birthday party. I think those were the fun days of Meech, him telling Atlanta he was there.
And then came the strip clubs. BMF was notorious for their overindulgence in the nightlife.
I was in the clubs at the time when the BMF guys were here in New York, where they were spending tons of money. Girls would just pick them up. They would have a payday when BMF came to town.
The BMF would go out in droves. Each member would get his own $400 bottle of Cristal champagne.
The clubs
Yeah,
either alternately loved it or hated it when they came in because they would sell out of champagne on the one hand.
You know, yo, but it's hard though, yo. I ain't gonna lie, yo. If you ever had a run when you was making a lot of money, yo, it is hard, yo, to not want to enjoy that shit. You feel me? Like, I don't know, yo. Like, that's an everyday struggle and everyday fight in itself. To have all this money, making money hand over fist, you making 30,000 a week, or you saying 30,000 a week. Say you even profiting. You know, I ain't talking about that level. I'm just talking about on a level where you profiting 10 bands a week. Yo, it's hard not to show off, yo, and enjoy that shit and wanna motherfucking stun on motherfuckers and shit. But that shit do get you put in this type of situation. Yeah, for real. You ain't lying though, Troy.
Now y'all dudes out there talking about y'all making rain, man. We the originators of making it rain.
It do sound great. Yeah, he lied.
I've got so much money, I could literally throw it up in the air and not even care about it.
When we go out at night, whatever we spend,
So fun to that shit in.
$100,000 in the motherfucking club, we can afford to do it because we ain't bring it all with us. A lot of niggas don't like to spend their money. We love to spend our money. We can't take none of this shit with us. None. Ain't no armored trucks pulling up at no funerals.
The best relationship and partnership in federal drug law enforcement are a group of DEA agents married up with a group of IRS agents. It's a whole nother expertise and full-time job to exploit and uncover the layers of laundered money and items purchased secretly by nominees.
Typically, these people aren't going to have anything in their name, which was the case with the Flannery brothers. Absolutely nothing. They don't file tax returns. No assets. So what you have to do is start looking at family members. The house that Terry Flannery had in L.A., his girlfriend, Tanisa Welch, it's in her name. He sets up a company for her out there called Oracle Motorsports. Really doesn't do anything, but he's got all these high-end cars in there, which are his cars.
Oh, shit.
She's got auto brokers out there that he's feeding money to, buying his cars, keeping them in their names.
For years, IRS agent Scartozzi traced the money back to Meech and Terry, continually uncovering more and more people who helped the two brothers to hide and launder their money.
Terry had a girlfriend here in Detroit. He had a house for her in Canton. Started looking at how this young lady buy this house. Show she
Yeah,
put
you ain't lying, Troy.
Hey, down on how she put that.
I always say, yo, it's all fun and games till the fun run out. Like, it is. Like, it is fun and games until the motherfucking house start getting raided, phones start getting tapped, friends start turning into snitches. Like, shit real. That's why it ain't worth it in the grand scheme of things, because it always ends like this. It was very seldom that you're gonna make this money. You ain't even gotta make this much money. Make a it's very seldom that you can make 1% of what Big Meech was making and then walk off into the sunset. It's seldom, yo. Because I'm gonna tell you one thing. For one, if you're making $20,000 a week, yo, it's hard to turn that away. You feel me? It's hard to stop. That's why it's like a drug. It's like an addiction. You feel me? That like I always say this, and people might disagree, yo, but selling drugs is an addiction, just like using drugs. You feel me? The drug dealer, the drug user is addicted to the product. The drug seller is addicted to the money. You feel me? And it's hard to turn it. Like, say you got a quota. I'm gonna make 50,000. I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna put this 50, and I'm gonna do something else with it. But you'll get to that 50,000, You're like, dang, yo, if I could just make 50 more, you like, and it's just gonna be all, and that's the greed. And a lot of times, the greed is what gets you. You know, if you want, if that's the life you choosing, yo, you gotta have a code and you gotta stick to that shit. I'm gonna make 20,000, and I'm gonna buy a dump truck, and I'm off to the races. But selling drugs is no longevity in that. Like, it's very rare you're gonna get even fucking 5 years. You feel me? A good run is from where I shit. A good run is a few summers. You get a few summers, making a couple of hours, man. You take that money, you run with it, and you don't never turn back. But most people don't. Most people don't, y'all, and they end up getting jammed up. And they're getting jammed up, y'all. And then now it's time to stand on it. That's all I say. If that's the life you want to live, when it come time, because everybody get their time. When the show stop. When the show stop, stand on it. You know, don't turn rat. Don't turn informant. Don't do that.
Where'd that money come from?
Yeah, greed, get them, man.
Came out of a credit union. Where'd the money come from to fund those? You know, it's just a matter.
Mm-hmm. You funny as shit.
Build, piece and piece.
One unsuspected accomplice to the two brothers was the famed jeweler to the stars, Jacob Arabov.
He essentially, of course, is a businessman and is in business to make money. And Demetrius and Terry Flannery had a lot of money to spend, and they liked spending it on, besides cars and homes, on nice jewelry. Very flamboyant jewelry.
See, your plug might not even let you stop, depending on how much money you're making. That's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up. Because, yo, sometimes you can make so much money to if you just stop, your plug gonna be looking at you crazy like you snitching. Like, that can get you killed sometimes, yo. If you reach a high level drug deal, I'm talking about high level, and say you giving your plug $75,000 a week, man, you turn around and be like, yo, this is the last 75, I'm done. Man, motherfucker might knock you off for that shit, man. They ain't no fucking way. They gonna think you telling. They gonna think you telling, man. Like, what? So you just done completely. You finished. Man, fuck out of here, man. Over my dead body. One of us ain't gonna make it out this bitch. It's a dirty game, y'all. Better off getting the job, man. For real, you make out much better in the end.
In fact, Jacob the jeweler extended a $1 million line of credit to the brothers.
Yeah, that shit ain't no joke.
To leave a voice message, press 1, or just wait for the
Yeah, nigga, you can't quit. Straight up. Nigga, I need you for real.
To leave a voice message, press 1.
Get his ass. He think he just gonna quit. Got something for his ass.
White boy, SOS, she left me in the jungle, man. It's the jungle out there, man.
If you are satisfied with your message, press 1. To listen to your message.
On October 28, 2005, the long-awaited federal indictment for Demetrius and Terry Flannery was unsealed. 25 BMF members were initially charged with a range of felonies, including money laundering, conspiracy to distribute cocaine, and for the brothers, running a continuing criminal enterprise.
We had overwhelming information and evidence, and it just kept growing exponentially. In fact, the problem for us really became not was there enough evidence, it became keeping the evidence organized, trying to determine what evidence to use and what not to use. We had so much.
Yes, well, how the fuck did he get 30 years?
Case was based on wiretap evidence, both on Terry's and Meech's side of the organization. The IRS had compiled a massive amount of evidence demonstrating that the two brothers had been hiding and laundering huge sums of money, proceeds from illegal drug operations. Together, the DEA and the IRS had coordinated local police departments from all around the country and amassed enough evidence to demonstrate the extraordinary reach of the Black Mafia family.
On initiating the investigation, Frank and myself and other agents went to great pains to try to identify random law enforcement contacts with members of the BMF. And in fact, we were able to identify approximately or more than 500 kilograms worth of seizures from random law enforcement activity. $500 million worth of money seizures.
We knew who the players were as far as when we know somebody got stopped. Okay, we know that was associated with BMF. Now let's backtrack and find out exactly how he was tied in.
analysis would be done of the phones they were carrying, and the address books would be looked at, and there would be a common theme in the names that were stored inside the cell phones. Investigation from there on the vehicles and the titles and the ownership often led to tying those vehicles and those individuals and those seizures back to the BMF.
On the lead up to the takedown, tensions were high. Years of hard work had gone into the investigation. They needed to catch Meech and Terry.
Somebody probably did, yo, because he definitely came home early.
They had passports. They were worldly. They had traveled to Europe and elsewhere and had the means to disappear. And if they disappeared,
all right, so
my way of thinking is that the case was a failure. But Marshall's doing what they do well. They came up with some information about Demetrius' whereabouts. They actually arrested Demetrius in Frisco, Texas on October 20th.
He got locked up on my birthday.
Into custody in,
my birthday coming up, y'all. October 20th, y'all.
October 26th. And in pretty short order, we had all
39, man.
Defendants off the Detroit indictment in pocket.
Several of the 25 defendants immediately began to cooperate with the DEA, including one of Terry's most trusted managers.
They say it took 3.5 off, but that'll leave him with 27. I mean, 2.5 years off.
When the money dries up and there ain't nobody looking out for you,
and he did 19 years.
We're looking at a pretty long sentence. The way I look at it, it's every man for himself.
We just really trying to motivate niggas and let niggas, know that niggas is really out here getting it like this, man. It ain't hard to get this shit, ain't far away. All a nigga gotta do is get on a real serious grind, man, with a real group of niggas that ain't gonna fucking tell, nigga.
Another key defendant that turned was BMF CFO William Doc Marshall.
Bill Marshall, not unlike many other defendants in this investigation, began to cooperate, essentially looking for a way to reduce his future prison sentence.
He really laid out a lot of the financial stuff of the BMF organization. He really filled in the holes as far as how the straw buyers worked, how they moved money from city to city.
His information was very useful going forward. We went from 25 defendants to where we ended up, which was the conviction of 66 defendants in Detroit alone.
With the help of Doc Marshall and other cooperating defendants, the DEA was able to effectively dismantle the Black Mafia family. All in all, 125 members, associates, and relatives were indicted and convicted. Out of the 125 members indicted, only 8 went to trial.
Rapper and solo artist BMF Entertainment. He was sentenced to 5 years. It was said that McKnight was used because of the fact he had very small hands and could get the last kilogram or 2 of the cocaine out of the stash spots. So Blue Da Vinci called 5 years. Now they saying he ain't right either. But this is the man. We're gonna watch him next because they saying he the one that's trying to say Big Meech told.
Trial. Just 2 days before their trial dates, Meech and Terry both pled guilty.
Third in command sentenced to 20 years in federal prison.
Without cooperation. They were sentenced to 30 years.
Both Demetrius and Terry Flannery and almost.
Say Big Meech was scheduled to get out when he was 61. He ain't 61. I think he about 55 right now.
All the rest of the members of the organization realized that the evidence was absolutely overwhelming. So pleading out to 30 years, I suppose, seemed a little bit better than life.
Oh, Jacob the Jeweler got locked up too? I didn't know that. Did y'all know Jacob the Jeweler got locked up? Southwest T. He caught 17 years. So he was sentenced to life. So he got charged with a murder of 2 people. He got life in prison. Tremaine Kiki Graham.
The financial judgment in the indictment and what the...
So the father got 18 months. We already read that.
Flannery's took responsibility for when they pled to 30-year prison term was $270 million. And if you consider
high-ranking Detroit manager and lifelong friend of Flannery brothers struck a plea deal and was sentenced to 4 to 8 years in federal prison.
Convertively convert those dollars into kilos. We're talking about the distribution.
Yeah, so he wasn't. So Meech came home for what, 5 years early.
18,000 kilograms of cocaine.
The girl got 5 years.
And this one of the largest homegrown domestic distribution organizations in the history of our country.
I wish I could be there tonight, but God knows I wish I could be there tonight. But one day soon, I'll be there with God's blessing. I just want to thank everybody for coming. Hope they enjoyed it. Don't want to take up no more of your time. Just have a time in your life, and I'll see somebody in the morning.
All right. So now we got a good idea what went on, the whole situation. So my son need to get off my daggone YouTube page. Like how he watch all these in that hour? My son had watched every single one of these things. God damn. So Blue Da Vinci supposed to provide some paperwork. Yeah, I know he was indicted.
This is our family business.
What's up?
Heating and air conditioning. Under Biden-Harris, we're getting screwed. Bob
So we gotta look into this girl Tammy Cowins, because word is that Meech did third-party cooperating. I don't know if it's true or not, but we're gonna explore it anyway.
Billionaires in California. Now the Democrats want to raise our taxes. Bob Casey's got to go.
Okay, but at some point, you and Big Meech stopped talking.
Yeah, so we stopped talking. Me and Meech last time talking was 2017, right? So in 2017, we on the phone like normal, regular conversation one night. And then my homeboy that was with me, he was like, Tone Bird, he from BMF too. Tone was like, ask Big Homie, what's up with the movie with 50? Like, what's going on with him from New York? I had to use my New York accent. Yo, what's going on with the 50 Cent movie? So I'm like, oh, yo, Meech, what's up with the movie, with the TV show? Like, where y'all at with that?
I'm trying to make sure he took
like,
his charge.
Man, almost done. The contract almost done.
Like we all had to do.
We're going to be starting. They're going to be, starting to cast it or whatever, right? I just got to wait to holler at Tammy before, you know what I'm saying, I know where we at with that. And Tammy is a government informant. So when he said that, I was like, Tammy? What you mean, Tammy? Like, nigga, you ain't heard what's going on with her? And they were like, shit, nigga, I heard some shit, but whatever it is, that shit ain't got shit to do with me. And he was like, man, I'm going to hit you back. I'm like, all right, that's the last time I ever talked to him. Next time I ain't even talked to him. Next time my cousin talked to him and said that he was trying to get on the phone with me while I'm getting into it with Lil Meech. Lil Meech came into one of the stores that I was working with, one of the exotic rental stores, to rent a car one time, and was talking shit. Nigga started talking crazy shit about me, nigga. And my son was in there working at the time, talking to my son whoop his ass. I let the kids lock up. You know what I'm saying? I was mad as a motherfucker. But, all this shit just ended up stemming from a whole nother situation that was surrounding Meech that was going on and shit. So you want to pull up some paperwork? You want me to show you how to pull up some paperwork?
So you're talking about Tammy Cowins, right?
Yeah, Tammy Cowins.
Okay,
yeah,
now
she's a co-producer of the BMF Stars TV show.
I think Blue Da Vinci got some paperwork sealed, but we're gonna look into Tammy Cowins next.
Okay, and you're saying that she's an informant?
Definitely, 100%.
Okay.
She's been an informant since 2009.
Okay, so I'm on the page right now.
Yeah, it's 32 pages or something.
I'm on the first page.
Oh, so you got the paperwork.
Now it says, United States of America versus plaintiff, and it says, Donnie Gatlin,
Deion Gatlin. Shout out Cuff. That's my nigga Cuff.
Okay.
Deion Gatlin. Yeah, he's one of the first defendants. Yeah.
Okay.
St. Louis Project niggas, what's happening?
So, can you kind of break down this paperwork for me and how she's involved in this? And where can I go?
Tammy Cowins is Big Meech personal assistant / business partner / whatever you want to call. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, Ty. We trying to figure it out.
She became the owner of what Meech has as BMF Entertainment, his company from prison. His company, she became the owner of it in 2008, and in 2009, she became a government informant. In 2010, she did a case that was pertaining to a guy that Meech met in prison and one of Meech's homeboys of 26 years.
Oh. That's strange as a motherfucker. That's strange. I ain't gonna lie, but we gonna read the paperwork.
Okay. Now, in this paperwork, it doesn't actually say her name.
Right, yeah. You have to.
So Ty, what they saying then, Ty?
It don't say her name. It say her name on paper on the cover sheet, her actual name. But you know, this is a case, so they're not gonna be saying the witnesses' names in the case. They're gonna call them CS1 or CSOI or something like that, confidential source or whatever. It's confidential, bro. It's not public. That, you know what I'm saying? The snitch on the case is not public. You feel me? Until maybe after the case and the people's put away in prison and they out of government hiding and all that shit, and then you get some paperwork, and then you might see it. Outside of that, you got to be tapped in. You got to have that pacer. Got to be able to pull cover sheets and shit like that. But when people read the affidavit, it explains to you exactly who she is. And then when people follow or know, or once you get to understand this situation, then you'll get to see exactly.
Because I think they try to put the bone on him, Trav Star.
A little part of it real quick, man.
I mean, LeVar.
It says CS1's relationship with Flannery, Suarez, and Gatlin. When CSI became a DA informant.
So hold up. So Ty, you heard about Tammy Cowins? That's what they saying in St. Louis. They saying she an informant. Is that what you saying? Get the paperwork from. We're gonna try to. He says in the description.
Was and had been a longtime associate of Demetrius Flannery. Now, here's where it says CSI1 held Flannery's power of attorney and life rights with creative control. So,
yeah, that means she's the person that got his life right. So she's the person that 50 Cent got the movie from, the TV show from. That's the only way to get it. You can't get it from Meech because he in prison. So
yeah, see, but this the thing though, y'all, and this the shit I was talking about. How is Meech able to profit from his life story? Yo, the feds don't typically allow that. They don't typically allow it, y'all. So how is he able to profit from it? That's the red flag to me. That's a red flag to me.
Business from prison. He's in jail. So he has to sign his rights to do his life story or do whatever he gonna do in his name over to somebody else. And Tammy Cowins is the person that was appointed to do all of that business, and she's the one that got the deal with 50.
All right, so he said
this is Cam Capone.
He said the link to that paperwork is in the description. Let's see, yo. Here go the paperwork link right here. That's 32 pages. All right, y'all. Y'all ready rock out? Fuck it. Let's find out. Let's find out what's going on with Tammy Cowins. Lamont Gatlin. Timothy Lamont Rush. So 4 people got arrested in this. In accordance with this memorandum, file herein, it is hereby recommended that defendants amend joint motion and memorandum to suppress wiretap evidence filed in Frank's hearing. The parties are advised that they have 14 days to which file a written objection to this report and recommendation pursuant to 28 USC. All right, let's see. So she got 4 people booked. That's what they're alleging. That Tammy Cowins got 4 people booked. So they are saying that this is how Meech got home early. From Tammy. Let's see what this girl looked like. Have anybody ever seen this girl before? This her right here? So this is her right here. So this is Tammy Cowins. Fucked it up. All right, so let's get to the paperwork. How did he know this girl? Where he meet this girl at? What the fuck I do with the paperwork? I messed it up. Oh, here you go. Let's see what the fuck she did. Improper payments for pre-trial. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, become a member if you want to support the platform. What's up, Nay? Cash at Baltimore Swag. We trying to figure out what's up with Tammy Cowins and BMF leader, Big Meech. Defendant. So this is about, let me read this. This matter was referred to the under-designed United States Magistrate Judge for all pretrial matters. Currently pending before the court is defendant's amend joint motion and memorandum to suppress wiretap evidence following. Oh, we already read that part. The affidavit submitted in support of the initial application for wiretap authorization contained false information and omitted material information that, once stricken and or considered, deprives the warrant application of probable cause, which means that if they was whatever information they got from this wiretap, if they can get it thrown out, then they wouldn't have probable cause even for this case. Defendant's second ground for the suppression is that the affidavit submitted in support of the wiretap authorization failed to satisfy necessity requirements set out in the 18 U.S.C. Defendant challenged the validity of the wiretap affidavit under Franks after learning that the DEA Atlanta Group supervisor, Keith Cromer, and one or more of his direct reports were being investigated by the Office of Professional Responsibility and the Office of Inspector General for, among other things, an alleged inappropriate relationship between Agent Cromer and the confidential source. Okay, so she was fucking with the DEA agent. Improper payments to the confidential source and falsified reports to justify improper payments based on what we would know about the investigation at the time. The United States conceded that the defendant were entitled to a Franks hearing and agreed to disclose materials related to the investigation to defense counsel. What is the Franks hearing, y'all? Hold on, we gotta find out what a Franks hearing is. Hold on. The fuck? What is a Franks hearing?
A Franks hearing is a court proceeding where the court examines whether a police officer provided false information to secure a search warrant.
Okay.
It gets its name from the landmark case Franks versus Delaware, which established the defendant's right to challenge the truthfulness of facts stated in a warrant affidavit.
Okay, got you. So basically what I was saying. They saying they got they basically got the evidence of false pretenses. All right. Yeah, I know that damn watermark that he put on here is hard to see. So let me finish reading this. Based on what was known about the investigators at the time, the United States conceded that defendants were entitled to. All right, we already read that. Frank's hearing began October 17, 2016, and continued daily until October 21st, 2016. The hearing was recessed. Excuse me. From October 21st, 2016 until until January 9th, 2017, to permit time for the parties to obtain cell phone data and telephone records whose relevance became apparent during the course of the hearing. Testimony resumed on January 9th and 10th, and the hearing was recessed again until January 19th due to witness availability. The hearing concluded on February 14th, 2017, after all evidence was submitted. The parties requested and were granted leave to file post-hearing briefs after several requests for additional time were filed and granted. The motion was fully briefed on September 21st, 2017. All right, here go the factual findings. This is what we need to hear. On August 28th, 2012, Assistant United States Attorney Tiffany Becker appeared before United States District Judge Henry E. Archery and made an amendment application for interception of wire communications over the Sprint brand cellular telephone resold to Total Car Prepaid bearing the telephone number 314-598-2330 with electronic serial number. We ain't reading all that. Issuance of this report and recommendation was delayed in part due to intervening motions filed by defendant Gatlin and Timothy Rush that raised due process challenges to their continued pretrial detention. I found that it was important to address the due process challenge first, as it is posted that defendants' continued detention violated due process. Although I issued a report and recommendation on Timothy Rush's motion on December 1st, 2017, I decided to delay ruling on defendant Gatlin's motion as it was required a closer review and analysis of the facts at the issue in the Franks hearing. I'm trying to get the where she. All right, here we go. So that's all right, here go the facts. The facts that form the basis for the wiretap authorization were set out in the affidavit and can be roughly grouped into 5 categories. First, the affidavit asserted facts regarding events on August 5th, 2012, which triggered the investigation. Namely, the defendant asserted that on August 5th, 2012, a confidential source being utilized by the DEA Atlanta. CSI alerted DEA Atlanta agents to a suspected drug transaction occurring in St. Louis between suspected source of supply. Yo, that is fucking wild. So the Atlanta field office was working with the Missouri DEA about, so they got information from Atlanta that it was a drug traffic or it was a drug sale going on in Missouri. That got BMF tied all in it. Y'all don't think that's strange? Hold up, y'all. That got BMF tied all in it. You talking about Atlanta and Missouri. 2 of the hubs of BMF, right? Or am I geeking? We're gonna continue, but that's strange. that's strange for this girl, who he think is the informant, to have connections to Meech. And BMF operated. We know BMF operated in these two cities, in these two states. But let's continue. The affidavit asserted that on August 5th, 2012, a confidential... we already read that part. No, we didn't. A confidential source being utilized by DEA Atlanta, CS1, alerted DEA Atlanta agents to a suspected drug transaction occurring in St. Louis between suspected source of supply, Fidel whatever, and defendant Dion Gatlin. Atlanta agents that he or she... CS1 advised DEA Atlanta agents that he/she was contacted by a yo who said he had a truck in St. Louis for a suspected narcotics transaction with Gatlin. What's his name? Serez was having trouble reaching Gatlin and asked CS1 for help. In an attempt to help Serez get in contact with Gatlin, CS1 had a flurry of calls with Gatlin and Serez. CS1 ultimately successful in connecting Serez and Gatlin. Yo, so these two people know exactly who it is. Gatlin knows who told on him. Whoever was on the three-way with this call. So this not like one of them hard situations to prove. If she told, motherfuckers know she told. It was three people on a phone conversation who was using the telephone that became the target of the wiretap. Second, the affidavit asserted facts relating both to CS1's reliability as an informant and measures DEA St. Louis investigators took to corroborate information provided by CS1. As to CS1 reliability, the affidavit assessed it that CS1 was cooperating with the DEA for monetary gain, had been shown to provide reliable information to DEA regarding a multitude of felonious activity, and had provided information that resulted in the arrest of at least one individual and the seizure of drugs and U.S. currency. As for the corroboration by DEA St. Louis, the affidavit asserted that DEA St. Louis investigators corroborated information from CS1 by using toll analysis of devices. Used by CS1. Gatlin and Serez on August 5th, 2012, court-authorized precision location information, past criminal investigations. So this is a reliable source, and information from the DEA Atlanta agents who monitored some, but not all, of the calls between Gatlin, Serez, and CS1 on August 5th, 2012. Third, the affidavit asserted facts related to a suspected drug distribution conspiracy between Demetrius Flannery, Dion Gatlin, and Fidel Serez. Yo, get the hold up, y'all. Hold up, y'all. Hey, yo, all right. See, I never looked at this before. Yo, why is Big Meech's name in this paperwork? By this point, Big Meech is already in jail. Matter of fact, he's already sentenced. This is 2009. Matter of fact, this not even 2009. This 2000 and... Yo, what year was this, y'all? I think this was 2011, 2012. I don't want to lose my spot. We'll figure it out. But I know Big Meech is already incarcerated. No, this ain't 1999. Hell no, this is like 2010. This ain't no motherfucking 1999. Hold on. Let's go back. Third, the affidavit asserted facts related to a suspected drug distribution conspiracy between Demetrius Flannery, Dion Gatlin, and Fidel Serez. More specifically, the affidavit asserted that Demetrius Flannery was the purported national leader of the Black Mafia family drug trafficking organization and had been sentenced to 30 years imprisonment for drug trafficking activities. The affidavit further asserted that, based on information previously known to DEA St. Louis, Dion Gatlin was a member of St. Louis BMF, was an associate of Flannery, and had substantial ties to multiple BMF members, had been indicted in the Eastern District of Missouri on drug trafficking charges and sentenced to 120 months incarceration for drug trafficking. The affidavit asserted that, based on information from CS1 and an independent investigation by a DEA St. Louis agent, Serres owned and operated a truck company in California and had been investigated and or arrested without conviction for suspected drug trafficking in 2005 and 2009. In addition, an independent investigation by a DEA St. Louis agent revealed 2 large quantity drug seizures from a truck operated by a Serres truck company. Finally, the affidavit assessed that, based on information CS1 provided to DEA Atlanta agents, Flannery and Serres became associates while both were incarcerated. And for monetary gain, Flannery arranged through CS1 for Serres to provide cocaine in multiple kilogram quantities to Gatlin. Yo, what the fuck? The fuck? Is this paperwork real? Yo. If this paperwork is real, then it's a fucking open and shut case. Like, this is open and shut. This paperwork came from Payson. This is real paperwork. You can pull up jail. No, they weren't on the jail call. So basically what Blue Da Vinci is saying and what this paperwork is saying is Big Meech met Gatlin while he was. So Big Meech already knew Serres. He met Gatlin while he was locked up. And Gatlin came home and Big Meech introduced Gatlin to Serres in CS1. And they saying CS1 is Tammy Cowins. Now, this drug traffic thing went down and got your book. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. Saying he set him up. He pulled a Gangster Williams. That's what Terrence Williams did to the correctional officers. Now, this is the exact same play. This is the exact same play that Terrence Williams did to the correctional officers and how he got time took off. He lined the correctional officers up for DEA agents and got them booked. And that's how he got time took off. Look it up. I did a video on it. He wrote it all down in his own letter. His own letter to the fucking judge. Damn, y'all. Why are people not taking this serious? I don't understand. Say finally, the affidavit assessed that based on information CS1 provided to DEA Atlanta agents, Flannery and Serres became associates while both were incarcerated. And for monetary gain, Flannery arranged through CS1 for Serres to provide cocaine to multiple kilogram quantities to Gatlin. So Serres is the plug. Serres got the truck. Fourth, the affidavit asserted facts relating to contact between CS1, Gatlin, and Serres in the year leading up to the event on August 5th, 2012. Yeah, this is 2012, y'all. Big Meech is already booked. Been booked. Specifically, the affidavit asserted that toll analysis of devices used by Serres and Gatlin indicated that they had been talking regularly since March 2012, and that Gatlin began using the target telephone in February 2012. The affidavit also asserted CS1 had contact with Serres and Gatlin and was aware that Serres had been in contact with Gatlin and traveled to St. Louis prior to August 12th. But CS1 was not involved in any drug transactions directly with Serres and or Gatlin, and CS1 did not participate in any early conversation between Serres and Gatlin. Thus, CS1 could not relay the content of those earlier discussions. According to the affidavit, CS1 advised investigators of a trip Serres took to St. Louis in July 2012. Serres' presence in St. Louis in July 2012. There you go. Almost dropped my fucking what's it called? In July 2012 was corroborated by an investigation by Serres, investigation of Serres in July 23, 2012. Independent of this case in which DEA agents in St. Louis surveilled and questioned Serres for suspicious conduct described in the affidavit. Fifth, the affidavit assessed that a wiretap was necessary. Specifically, the affidavit described various investigative tools that had been considered and or used in the investigation to date, including physical surveillance, use of confidential informants, undercover officers, pen registers, telephone toll records analysis, witness interviews, search warrants, and trash pulls, interviews with target witnesses, and use of grand jury proceedings, review of police records. So, yo, they had witnesses too, undercover confidential informants. But they presenting this like this was just a regular phone call, like this wasn't the whole investigation. Location data, tracking device, and prior Title III intercepts. The affidavit recited in detail investigative tools used in the investigation and why each tool had not been successful or was unlikely to be successful. On August 20th, 2012, Judge Autry signed an amended order authorizing interception of wire communication of target telephone 1. The order states that the court found probable cause to believe that a listed individuals were committing violations. At the evidentiary hearing, Agent Johnson acknowledged that the reference to February 2012 was a typographical error and that the toll record showed Gatlin began using the target telephone in July. And that the communications concerning the offense were likely to be intercepted. The order further found that normal investigative techniques had been tried and had failed. Reasonably appeared to be unlikely to succeed if tried, or were too damaged to be employed. The order authorized the wiretap interception for 30 days. The OPR and OIG investigations, the documents contained in the court's electronic docket in this case reflect that on March 18, 2015, former retained counsel for Gatlin advised the government via email that CS1 had contacted one of his associates claiming, among other things, that the wiretap affidavit was factually inaccurate. CS1 also reportedly told the associate that the DEA agent in Atlanta, who was referenced in the affidavit, had been suspended or was under investigation. Attorneys for the government apparently looked into the allegation and advised the court and the defense counsel that the DEA Office of Professional Responsibility, OPR, was in fact investigating possible misconduct of one or more DEA agents who provided material information to the investigation in this case. So what it sounds like, y'all, Gatlin reached out to CS1 like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, you set me up. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like Gatlin reached out to CS1 like, yo, you fucking set me up, man. You set me up. And she tried to say, no, you good. the investigation, it ain't going to go through because they looking into a couple of the agents that had something to do with the investigation. That's what it sounds like to me. I could be wrong. Attorney for the government apparently looked into the allegation and advised the court and the defense counsel that the DA office of professional responsibility investigated possible misconduct of one or more DA agents who provided material information to the investigation in this case, including DA Atlanta Group Supervisor Keith Cromer. Oh, because Keith Cromer was fucking with the snitch. Okay, so that's how she knew. That's how she knew. So basically what happened is, it sounded like that he reached out to her, like, yo, you fucking set me up. And she knew that she was fucking the dude, and that kind of hindered the investigation. At a hearing on April 27, 2015, the United States conceded on the record that based on what was known about the internal investigation, all defendants were entitled to a Franks hearing. The United States further acknowledged that defense counsel were entitled to additional disclosure related to the investigation pursuant to the government's obligation under Brady, Bagel, and Gigolo. Because defendants had already filed pretrial motions at the time of the hearing, defendants were permitted to supplement their previously filed motion and to file any other substantive pretrial motions that are unrelated to electronic surveillance evidence. At a status hearing on November 4th, 2015, the United States disclosed that there were additional information related to the internal OPR investigation as well as a criminal investigation by the Office of Inspector General that had only recently been revealed to St. Louis prosecutors. So did this case get thrown out? Agent Cromwell and some of his direct reports were targets of the OPR and OIG investigation. And documents from the investigation reflected that Agent Cromwell contested the claimed misconduct. So he agreed to it. No, he contested. So he disagreed. He disagreed that he was in a relationship with the girl. The United States produced OPR and OIG documents on a rolling basis to defense counsel between February 2016 and early part of May 2016. Yo, there is no reason. Yo, why is Big Meech's name in this paperwork? Yo, his name should not be in this paperwork, y'all. Why is his name in paperwork from 2016? The man been locked up since 2008. Like, yo, fuck no. Since 2005. That don't make sense to me. At the evidentiary hearing, the United States presented testimony of 6 witnesses and documentary evidence regarding the veracity of statements in the affidavit. Specifically, the United States presented the testimony of CS1, who testified about the events on August 5th, 2012, and about the relationship between CS1, Demetrius Flannery, Dion Gatlin, and Fidel Serres. Evidence hearing, volume 1, whatever. The United States also presented testimony of retired DEA Atlanta Special Agent Agent Harvey, who testified about how CS1 came to be a confidential source for the DEA. CS1 role, while Agent Harvey was the controlling agent for CS1 in events leading up to the OPR and the OIG investigation into Agent Cromwell and others. DEA agent, Special Agent James Davidson, Agent Davidson, testified about threats directed to CS1 in the spring of 2015 after electronically filed court documents in this case became publicly available. Finally, the United States presented testimony of DEA St. Louis agent who had responsibility for preparing the affidavit, Task Force Officer Robert Lang. At the start of the evidentiary hearing, CS1's identity was established on a record in closed court for the CS1 safety. That portion for the record was sealed, and the court admonished counsel in all of the witnesses to refer to CS1 as CS1 throughout the Franks hearing. Oh man, it's crazy. Defendants presented testimony of 7 witnesses and documentary evidence regarding the veracity of statements in the affidavit, the relationship between CS1 and Agent Cromwell, payments made to CS1 by or at the direction of Agent Cromwell, and CS1 contributions or lack of contributions to the investigation, for which CS1 received a form of compensation. Specifically, in addition to cross-examining United States witness regarding statements in the affidavit, defendants presented testimony of Agent Cromwell, see evidence, and the following former direct reports of Agent Cromwell, DEA Atlanta Task Force Office David Aguilar. Defendant also presented testimony of DEA's Atlanta Special Agent Maria Hewitt, Agent Hewitt, who was the case agent on an investigation for which CS1 received compensation, but according to Agent Hewitt, provided no known information of value. Agent Cromwell initially invoked his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, but subsequently waived his right by providing substantive evidence, substantive answers to questions posed by defense counsel. TFOs Aguilar and Swope respectively asserted their Fifth Amendment right. Why everybody using their Fifth Amendment right? The fuck going on? It's like some corruption to me. Ain't nobody trying to talk. Agent Murphy, who testified about DEA's policies and procedures surrounding the payment of confidential informants, and Agent Murphy's involvement in the events leading up to the OPR and OIG investigation of Agent Cromwell. Based on my observation of witnesses during the hearing, I found all of the witnesses presented by the United States to be credible witnesses, with the exception of CS1, whose testimony was not entirely credible for reasons addressed fully below. I similarly found the defense witnesses to be credible, although their testimony was not fully directly relevant to the narrow issues before the court. To the extent of defense witnesses' testimony was not fully credible, I have noted that below. CS1 became a confidential informant for DEA Atlanta in 2009, when he or she provided information in a money laundering case, which resulted in a successful prosecution and conviction of an individual named Terry White. Although CS1 was not initially a paid DEA informant, CS1's controlling agent, Harvey, put CS1 in an award that would be a percentage of the value of property forfeited by White, because information provided by CS1 was so beneficial that the DEA made seizures from White. Yo, this is fucking crazy. Yo, why is it, man, I ain't saying nothing. This shit's strange. Why is he working so, people know who CS1 is. Gatlin knows who CS1 is. Now, I don't know if Blue Da Vinci talked to Gatlin, and Gatlin said, yeah, that's the girl. But if that's the girl, and she is in control of his life rights, then man, you already know what the fuck going on. Like, it's open and shut. But we need to look up, what's that dude name? We need to look up Gatlin. Figure out what the fuck is up with Gatlin. See if he did any interviews. Although CS1 was not initially a paid informant, all right, we read that part. Provided, put CS1 in for an award that would be a percentage of the value of property forfeited by White, because information provided by CS1 was so beneficial that the DEA made seizures from White. So when you're a snitch, you get a percentage of the bus. yo, get the fuck out of here. So if a person get knocked off with $1 million, you get a percentage of that. People don't think that's crazy. They stay so much against drug money, but they pay their informants with it. Get the fuck out of here, yo. This country is crazy, yo. So informants don't get paid for the taxpayers. They get paid for the drugs that they get off the streets. Okay. Who the fuck is CS2? For the safety of CS2, CS2 was identified at a sidebar during the testimony of Agent Hewitt and TFO Hooks. That position of Agent Hewitt's testimony is sealed. Why is all this shit sealed? According to Agent Harvey, CS1 was the heart and soul of Terry White's case. Agent Harvey testified that CS1 was an unusual informant in that he or she had no criminal record, was not a known drug user, did not appear to be motivated by money, and was not looking to get a reduced prison sentence or dismissal. Yo, get the fuck out of here, y'all. Yo, come on now, y'all. So this girl ain't got no reason to be working with the police. She just decided, you know what? Just woke up in the morning like, let me call FBI. I want to become an informant. Yo, get the fuck out of here, y'all. Yo, come on now, y'all. Why is this woman working with the police? Yo, who wakes up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm going to be an FBI informant? And she just got all these connections to drug dealers. Hey, yo, man, fuck that. He won't be getting no welcome home from me. I don't give a fuck. This shit's strange. This strange. What's up, Ray? Yeah, yo, but this, no, I'm not saying they didn't give her nothing. Yo, she never got arrested before. She never got arrested before. She had no reason to be working with the feds. Why is she working with the feds? Normally people work with the feds because they got caught with something. You know, they got arrested somewhere along the line. Yo, people just don't say, like, they're not like volunteer firefighters. You feel me? Like, federal informants aren't volunteer firefighters. Yo, people just don't wake up and say, man, I'm ready to just, you know what, I think I'm just going to be a federal informant. Fuck it. You know what? I know all these drug dealers. It's drugs going on. No, I've never been arrested, but I just know so many drug dealers. I think I'm just going to start working with the feds. Man, that shit crazy, y'all. Yo, this is crazy work. Yo, this is crazy work, y'all. Damn. Can y'all see this, y'all? I'm going to read that part again, y'all. Agent Harvey testified that CS1 was an unusual informant in that he or she had no criminal record, was not a known drug user, did not appear to be motivated by money, and was not looking to get a reduced prison sentence or dismissal of criminal charges. Rather, CS1 appeared to be motivated to make up for the fact that White had used CS1 unwillingly, laundering drug money. CS1 provided significant information during the investigation of the case, which was used in various search warrants. The investigation, which started in 2008, culminated with an arrest in 2009, and White was convicted and sentenced in 2011. CS1 eventually received an award for approximately $55,000 for the Terry White case. Although the precise scope of CS1 duties after Agent Harvey's retirement is not entirely clear, CS1 testified credible that he or she was paid on a monthly basis for things like picking up money or drugs and or making phone calls in drug investigations. According to the testimony of Agent Cromer, CS1 was paid on a monthly basis for providing actionable information, i.e. information that could lead investigators to a drug source of supply. In an ongoing long-term drug investigation, for example, according to Agent Cromer, Information from CS1 that Fidel Cerez, a California-based Mexican, nationally known to law enforcement to be suspected drug distributor, and Gatlin or Cuff, that's where you got Cuff from, Trap Star, were conspiring to engage in drug trafficking activity, was the sort of actionable information for which CS1 might receive payment. Sometime after CS1 became a paid DEA informant in violation of DEA policies, CS1 and Agent Cromer developed an intimate personal relationship. Specifically, according to CS1 and Agent Cromer developed a relationship that started as a friendship and evolved into a sexual relationship that lasted through 2012. Agent Cromer admitted that his relationship with CS1 became personal in violation of DEA policy, but denied that it was ever sexual in nature. There is no evidence that either St. Louis agents who prepared the affidavit or the Atlanta agents who worked with Agent Cromer and CS1 were aware of their relationship. Although Agent Cromer testified that all of the payments made to CS1 during his or her tenure, well, got to be a girl. Well, it don't have to be. His or her tenure as a paid informant were proper. Testimony of Agent Murphy and TFO Smith, as well as Agent Harvey, called into question the propriety under the DEA policy of Agent Cromer's authorization of payments to CS1 on a nearly monthly basis. Testimony of Agent Harvey. In addition, testimony by Agent Hewitt and TFO Hook suggested that CS1 may have inappropriately received an award for an investigation for which CS2 actually provided actionable information. However, there was no evidence presented to suggest that CS1 lacked personal knowledge of the information incorporated in the affidavit at the issue in this case, and or that in providing information to agents, CS1 was somehow taking credit for information known by another informant. All right, so this is CS1 relationship to Gatlin and Flannery. When CS1 became a DA informant, CS1 had been a longtime friend and associate of Demetrius Flannery. CS1 held Flannery's power of attorney. What the fuck? Well, it's obvious, yo. What the fuck? Like, yo, we don't even gotta read no more of this shit. It's obvious what happened, y'all. It's obvious what happened, y'all. I'm reading them, start back over. When CS1 became a DA informant, CS1 was and had been a longtime friend and associate of Demetrius Flannery. Specifically, CS1 held Flannery's power of attorney and life rights with creative control, i.e. the rights to tell and presumably sell Flannery life story for profit. Those rights, by CS1 estimation, could be worth as much as $1 million. Both Agent Harvey and Agent Cromer were aware of CS1's relationship with Flannery. CS1 testified that Flannery was very well known, and it was not at all unusual for CS1 to receive calls from total strangers asking about Flannery. CS1's relationship with Flannery that CS1 first came in contact with both Fidel Cesar and Dion Gatlin, and it was due to CS relation. It was due to CS1 relationship with Flannery that CS1 first came into contact with both Fidel Cesar and Dion Gatlin. In September 2011, Flannery requested CS1 help coordinate delivery. What? Oh my God, yo, it's obvious, yo. This nigga a rat. This nigga's a fucking rat. In September 2011, Flannery requested CS1's help coordinating delivery of a load of cocaine to be controlled by Cesar, who at that point had already been in contact with CS1. CS1 credibly testified that he or she first met Cesar by telephone when Cesar contacted CS1 to ask how Flannery was doing. Flannery confirmed that he and Cesar were friends and that they had met in the county jail in Michigan. Although CS1 did not meet Cesar in person, he or she spoke with Cesar by phone and text Additionally, Cesar sent CS1 a picture of himself. Cerez asked CS1 if he or she knew someone who might want to buy some pills. According to CS1, he or she was in a car with Agent Chroma during the first narcotic-related conversation with Cerez. Agent Chroma overheard the call and signaled to CS1 to say yes, he or she knew someone. CS1 later contacted by an agent in California regarding Cerez. As Cerez defended Gatlin first contacted CS1 to see how Flannery was doing in jail at 60. Based on discussion with both Gatlin and Flannery, CS1 understood that Gatlin and Flannery were friends. Initially, CS1's relationship with Gatlin was more of a business relationship, and communication centered more around Flannery's life rights. However, at some point, Flannery asked CS1 to connect Gatlin and Cerez, and the relationship between CS1, Gatlin, and Cerez turned to narcotics. Telephone toll records reflect that Cerez and Gatlin were in contact with each other on various devices from as early as March 2012 through August 2012. Although telephone toll records show that during that same time period, Cerez and with left frequency, Gatlin were in contact with CS1, there is no evidence to suggest that CS1 participated in any of the early telephone calls between Cerez and Gatlin. In July 2012, Cerez invited CS1 to join him on a trip to St. Louis without stating why he was going to St. Louis. CS1 declined. Telephone toll records reflect that Cerez contacted CS1 while Cerez was in St. Louis. At an evidentiary hearing, CS1 denied that Flannery had any involvement in any drug trafficking activity between Cerez and Gatlin, and denied that CS1 ever informed DEA agents that Flannery was so involved. Of course you're going to deny that. But that shit don't sound right. That shit don't sound right at all. So what she's trying to say is that Big Meech linked them all together and she was already working. This is her second case. She already cracked the first case, which got $55,000 for. But she owned his life rights, and he linked them together. And just by fault, the dude called while she was in the car with the police, and she allowed the police to tell, man, fuck out of here. I ain't buying that. That sounds bullshit. That sounds like BS. CS1 also denied that he or she ever informed DEA agents that Flannery directed CS1 to connect Gatlin and Cerez. However, this aspect of CS1 testimony is not credible for at least three reasons. First, CS1 testimony conflicts with the testimony of TFO Lang, the DEA St. Louis agent who interviewed CS1 about the events on August 5th. TFO Lang credibly testified that during the brief of CS1 on August 6, 2012, CS1 told him that CS1 had felicitated the introduction of Gatlin and Cerez at Flannery's request. Second, CS1 testimony also conflicts with the contemporaneous interview notes of DEA Atlanta investigator TFO Smith, which were introduced into evidence. Those notes are consistent with assertion in the affidavit regarding Flannery's involvement in the suspected drug conspiracy. So she lying. Everybody said that don't make sense. Finally, evidence presented at the hearing demonstrated that CS1 faced acquittal and perceived threats when court filings in this case revealed CS1's identity. Specifically, on February 6, 2015, all defendants in this case filed pretrial motions, including separate motions to suppress wiretap evidence. In March 2015, CS1 reviewed the electronic docket in this case and saw information contained in defendant's Gatlin suppression motion in responsive submission by the United States that CS1 believed would potentially allow people familiar with the circumstance to determine CS1 identity. Upon reviewing the court filings in this case, CS1 contacted his or her controlling DEA agent at that time, James Davison. Agent Davison testified at the evidentiary hearing that CS1 expressed concern that the motion filed in this case and the government's response to this motion contained Specific detailed information that CS1 feared would reveal his or her identity, or to make it much easier for someone to figure out CS1's identity. CS1 panicked and took several measures to try to protect his or herself. Those measures included contacting the undersigned magistrate judge, whose chambers referred CS1 to United States Attorney's Office, and driving several hours to Louisiana soon after learning about the court filings to attempt to see Flannery to try to explain his or her position and try to deflect any accusations coming from CSI's way. She drove all the way to Louisiana after learning the court filing to attempt to see Flannery to try to explain his or her position and tried to deflect any accusations coming CS1 way. Although it appears CS1 did not speak with Flannery in Louisiana on March 6, CS1 hearing testimony suggests that when CS1 did finally speak with Flannery, he advised CS1 he didn't want his name caught up in this mess. In addition to CS1 perception that he or she was a danger because of the revelation, Agent Davidson credibly testified that CS1 faced actual threats in the weeks and months following the court filings in March 2015, through the time of Frank's hearing, and further attempt to protect him or herself. CS1 stated in a draft affidavit that the wiretap affidavit contained false information and outlined a different version of events from what is set out in the affidavit. CS1 never signed the draft affidavit or swore to it, but CS1 relayed some information in the unsworn affidavit. The documents were not filed under seal and have since been ordered sealed. Man, I don't even gotta read no more of that shit. I don't know about that, y'all. That shit sound crazy. Hold on. That sound wild to me, y'all. So this woman got your life rights and you don't know she working. Fuck out of here. You tell that shit to somebody else. If she don't, you need to do a better job of vetting your motherfucking people. She got your life rights and you don't know she working. How? Oh shit, I lost the damn paperwork. Fuck, I ain't going back to that anyway. Hold up, y'all. I don't trust that. Big Meech co-defendant speak from jail.
As San Francisco DA, liberal Kamala Harris let killers go free. And as California Attorney General, Kamala continued to put criminals first. After a
nigga who took his shit.
What else do we know about this population? They are stupid.
And see the Shrewd News.
More. Or to see how she took $2
The Shrewd News, y'all.
New home costs increased
It's
by
there.
46%.
It's there.
Bidenomics is working.
Hey, yo, Flame on. Yeah, something ain't right, yo.
I've seen it. And we have Meech.
Where's the
He
paperwork?
also got paid for 40. Everybody looked up to BMF. And what?
Man, I don't know about. They not saying nothing. Big Meech. What the fuck is wrong with my thing? Why is it doing that? Why is it over here? The fuck is going on? Look, the fuck is wrong with my damn search bar?
Da Vinci.
Hold on, y'all. Something ain't right, y'all.
Da Vinci.
Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? Oh, here you go. Fuck. I had to close everything out. Computer geek. I'm trying to find a co-defendant. Yo, why is my computer doing this? Look, why is the search bar over here? The fuck, they didn't switched up my shit? Hold on, y'all. I'm ready to turn this whole computer off. Y'all know I ain't no, that's what, alright, I'm gonna look for that. Y'all know I ain't no motherfucking computer whiz. Let me turn this whole computer off and start that bitch over. I don't know what the fuck that's about. Okay, yeah, make sure y'all support the platform, y'all. Cash App Baltimore Swag, y'all want to support the platform. Y'all's at the bottom of the screen, support the movement. I'm ready to look that up now, Trap Star. I don't know, my computer was just geeking. What that was about. Mommy in 3 days. Cash App Baltimore Swag, support the motherfucking movement. We've been live for going on for 3.5 hours now. We rocking. What is called, bro? Dion Cuffees. All right. That's his name, Cuffy? Is that Dion Gatlin? They call him Cuffy? Check it out, TV, what it is. Come on, Big Meech. You sent the nigga over, bro? Niggas be crazy. Yo, sent somebody over. Yo, down bad for that. Come on, y'all. Ain't no way, y'all. Ain't no way that girl was working and you ain't know that.
But my thing is always being a specialist over the years. Wow. That's my
like, yo, you can't tell me, yo. You can't tell me this girl got your life rights. Like, we ain't talking about she got a one of his cars. Yeah, we talking about a girl that got your life rights and you don't know she working? And they trying to present it, and the government ain't even buy that. The judge ain't even buy that. She trying to present it like, oh no, he was just in the car with me. I was just in the car with the officer when he happened to call, and the officer like, yeah, tell him you do got pills. Man, fuck no. Judge wasn't even buying that. I ain't buying that either. That don't even make sense. She tried to reach out to Big Meech because her name was ready to get exposed. That's what that was. Her name was ready to get exposed, so she tried to reach out to Big Meech. I know he know.
When
I
was
ain't
with
got
the
common
Source,
sense. Say he
you
know.
I met a lot of people, did a lot of things. When I worked with Vibe, I met a lot of people. But my thing is always being
That's him right here?
nice guy. So, a lot of times people get in positions, they arrogant and they miss all the connects. I'm the humble guy. I want to talk to the quiet nigga in the corner and this person right here and the nigga mopping the floor because you never know how circumstances change. You need all types of people in your corner. But so I got with Sosa. I got connected through Sosa because at the time I was doing what I'm doing, helping Pops. They brought me to Pops, and they was like, "Yeah, he got a record label. He needs some help. He needs some consulting. Can you help him?" And that's how I started my relationship with the family. From that point, I met Meech and most of the top guys. At the time, I was living around the corner with an OG named Michael Concepcion. And so I would go. I know Mike. Yeah, I used to go the back route through the neighborhood, make sure nobody was following me to go to Pop's house once things got hot. So that's pretty much where I did. I did my business. When I fucked with them, I had a time limit. It was business. I stayed at the house for 15, 20 minutes, shake some hands and leave. I never hung out, was a hanger-on and groupie and doing none of that shit because I knew that if I did that, niggas would look at me different. You know what I'm saying? So I just came, handled my business. When you saw them at the Source Awards, and they was all in them seats getting the shout outs, and they had the 4-page spread, that was all my connects back at the time because Benzino asked me, "Yo, Cal, what's up with these dudes? They good?" I was like, "Yeah, them niggas is solid, man. They good people." Because when I met
Why the fuck
Pop,
is he talking? Nobody want to hear from him. We want to hear from the guy on the jail phone call.
Was, kind of started going bad, and Pops got me with another right. What I know, it was weird. Tammy was communicating with me. She said, "Cal, help Tammy." I ran into a familiar person. I was put with this woman named Tammy Cowins. Tammy was he was trying to get us, to put the whole story together and all that. Right. So henceforth, I was around when things was, kind of started going bad.
So Trav Star, who is this talking?
Got me with another writer who was a guy who used to be the former editor of Rolling Stone. He was trying to get us, to put the whole story together and all that. And at the same time, I ran into a familiar person. I was put with this woman named Tammy Cowins. Tammy was communicating with me regarding, her position, trying to help. They basically said, "Cal, help Tammy." And because they knew that at the time, Tammy, she didn't know shit. She was just a pretty girl. Now, let me tell you what I know that was weird. Tammy was communicating with me, communicating. She would tell me everything was going on. And then one day she disappeared.
She was trying to fish for him. She was trying to get information from his ass.
And I'm going to tell you something. The first time I met her in person at the Intercontinental in Buckhead. And she home, and myself, we all before all of that. You feel me? How everything came to be. See, Sosa and myself, we all before all of that. You feel me? Right. Sosa is a day one nigga. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, sir. And see, Meech, I'm the first nigga put $1 million in his pocket. He never seen that till he came to the loop. You feel me? I heard about you, dog. I heard you was just an outstanding dude, man. Take care of your business and your reputation in a good way preceded itself. So I understand now, based on from what we've dealt with and seen with this whole thing with Tammy, man. Speak on that for me if you can, because it's perplexing. Well, what they did, what Meech and Tammy did is called it because you're not in the system. Thank God you're not. I hate to see brothers in this system. But brothers who are familiar with this system, it's a nasty, nasty system. What Meech and Tammy did was called a third-party cooperation. What happened was...
This call is from a federal prison.
Originally, I was put with Tammy. I paid for the script. I paid $250,000. That's my script. That's why 50...
That's what the paperwork say, too.
When he came in, because we put a assistant deceased order in through my attorney. That's why they couldn't do a motion picture. That's why you didn't see the BMF story on the big screen. So 50 ran it through that star shit that he run that other corny shit that he do. So what happened was, homie, I wasn't even the original target. They wanted to get a little Mexican. He's actually a cartel member.
Wow.
From LA named Suarez. You'll see his name in the paperwork.
Shit.
Fidel Suarez. He was the initial target. You feel me?
That should line up.
He was the initial target. But with me calling in while they were trying to set up Fidel Suarez,
She clicked over and told the feds, or the agents who was listening to her in Suarez, hold on, this is Cuff. And when they heard the name Cuff, they went fucking crazy. And that's when her and Meech turned the scheme toward me.
Hey, that's what the paperwork say,
so
yo.
What it did was, this is what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to give Meech a time cut for her cooperation and set me up. But also, it kills two birds with one stone. It puts me in jail, and now they don't have to split any of the revenue with me. My buddy and my partner along with me, his name is Louis Burrell. That's MC Hammer's big brother.
Oh, they cut him out the deal.
That's what Tammy was coming out here to see.
That was me.
And I'm gonna tell you the year. That was 2015.
This dirty
like
bitch.
14.
Way earlier than that. It started way earlier than that. Way earlier than that. Around 2010, homie. Way earlier than that.
I'm sorry, yeah, we gotta go way back.
We put $50 million on the table through Lionsgate's films, through Louis Burrell's Connect. Because Louis said that this nigga, he a bait nigga out there, but he fucks around. He really fucks around in the music tip, but he also fucks around in the movie industry up there. Now, what we did not know is why Tammy would turn down that deal with me and Louis Burrell getting 20% of that budget. You understand what I'm saying? For a finder's fee. So what ended up happening was we didn't know that they had other plans and that she was sleeping with the feds and that they would put me off in prison and run away with my script and don't have to give me anything. So if they're supposed to give me a time cut and knock me out of my percentage, me and Louis Burrell out of our percentage for the finder's fee with Lionsgate's film. Well, Lionsgate, when Louis went, so they backdoored us. Lionsgate shot it down when Louis Burrell was no longer a part of it. You feel me?
Shit.
Right.
So Tammy's whole thing fell apart. Meech couldn't get a time cut because they found out Tammy has no credibility. Because when you can't have a relationship with a federal agent.
Oh, so this the same shit happened to Rilo. Yo, this is the same type of situation that happened to Rilo, y'all. Same situation. Yo, this is the same thing that happened to fucking Rilo with the conflict with the lawyer. Now, in Meech's situation, it was a conflict with the snitch, the informant, because she was fucking the detective. Wow. Yo, these people dirty, yo. That's dirty, yo. Cut that man out the deal. He still ain't get no time cut.
Now you have no credibility. So they thing blew up. They thing fell all the way apart and blew up. That's why Meech didn't get a time cut. But Tammy testified in open court that she signed up to be a DA informant to give Demetrius Flannery a time cut.
This call is from a federal prison.
Special Agent Keith Cromer testified that Demetrius Flannery knew about this whole thing, but he just wanted to keep his name out of the documents. The special agent told Flannery that he could not do that. He could only do that if Cuff don't go to trial. And with Cuff's record, he can't afford to go to trial. You understand what I'm saying?
Correct.
But in the midst of all of this,
I took it to trial just
he ends up flipping on the special agent Keith Cromer, and the whole deal went in the trash. So that's why we're at the point to where we're at now.
Wow.
Yeah. This is 30 years ago.
Go back with Meech, Cuff. How long have you known?
Yeah, that's crazy.
1990, homie. 1990, homie.
Damn.
1990. My beautiful daughter that you talk with, my son, my other daughter, they look at this nigga, call this nigga uncle, homie.
Yeah, I see.
Now, from my understanding, you guys reached out to him when the paperwork came down. She said that you knew who the CI was. You told her and her mom.
I said that. Like, yo, he gotta know who it is. He gotta know who it is because there's only 3 people on the fucking call. Like, there's no way he don't know. So if he's saying that this is what it is, that's facts. It's facts. There's 3 people on the call. You gotta know who the informant is. Damn, yo, that's crazy. Big Meech a dirty motherfucker, man.
You guys sent a message to Meech. What was his response when this stuff came down?
Yeah, the Mexican dude was the target.
Like, yo, bro, What's going on? What did you get from Meech?
When I got locked up, homie, and when I seen where this whole conspiracy was coming from, I laughed at it and I didn't believe in it. And I knew that Meech could come forward and kill the whole conspiracy. Just saying that the conspiracy is based on Meech communicating from Tammy, sending me a truckload of drugs. It's all made up. From jail, homie. He could have killed this whole deal.
Meech
They
dirty.
never had any drugs. You understand what I'm saying? But that's how conspiracy works in this system, in this nasty system. But when Meech shot down the offer, when we sent my attorneys out, he was at FCI Lompoc in California. And he responded back to my attorneys that he didn't want to have nothing to do with nothing. And he stopped communicating with them. So then that told my attorneys right there that Demetrius Flannery is a part of this whole deal. And I couldn't believe it. You feel me? So that's what his response was, that he don't know nothing about all this. Well, Demetrius Flannery has been locked up since 2005, and how are you my unindicted? He's listed in my paperwork, homie.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. How are you in this paperwork from 2010, bro? It's no way. It's no way you didn't know about this. It's no way, y'all. It's no way.
As my unindicted co-conspirator serving 30 years at FCI Lompoc in California. How are you in my paperwork, man? And how are you this famous drug dealer who's in magazines and books and movies, and you are in bed with a government informant that testified in court that she cooperated and set your nigga up, a 30-year partner, to give you a time cut? How are you this celebrity drug lord, but you in bed with a government informant? And how you not know about this? And you in my documents is my co-defendant, my unindicted co-defendant.
They Meech dirty, y'all. He dirty. He dirty. All right, it is what it is. Yo, dirty. Damn. Where part 2 at? Salute to Chop Talk TV, man. Yo, dirty. What the fuck of video we just watched? I'm trying to find part 2. Yeah, that's what it looked like, Flame On. They did the same that they rallied them. That's 3 parts.
What would you say to that, man? Because the truth, the facts are the facts.
Oh, no doubt about it. You know what I mean? I didn't put your name in this paperwork. How did you get in this paperwork? These are sworn documents. These are affidavits that have you listed as my unindicted co-conspirator. These are sworn documents. These affidavits went for wiretaps in front of a magistrate. Under the penalty of perjury. So you think them white folks gonna put themselves in a trick bag by putting Demetrius Flannery name in there as my unindicted co-conspirator?
No. Sure the fuck ain't.
You're my unindicted co-conspirator, man. How did you get in my paperwork? And now there doesn't seem to be any anger or vitriol coming from your perspective about none of this.
Right. How the fuck the movie still went on? That shit would have got canceled.
And understanding it, they just don't want to believe it. And I think the sentiment goes to a lot of people, but you have to accept the truth for what it is, because at the end of the day, how did you would have never met Tammy had he not put her with you, if I'm correct?
That's you're 100% correct, man. He knows this, and everybody else knows this. Anything with Tammy comes from him. Not only that, what she testified in court to. What Special Agent Keith Cromer fired disgraced DEA agent Keith Cromer when she was having a illicit sexual relationship with, which killed their case, which killed his time cut. All that's prohibited, and it's not only prohibited, it's criminal. You go to jail.
It is criminal. His case should have been thrown out.
When you five agents was fired, and one was indicted.
Damn.
They gave her $250,000 to set me up, man, to do this.
Damn.
I found some stuff in the
dirty bitch.
It's a St. Louis paper. I can't think of the name of it, but I was able to find an article on that. Can you tell me a little bit about the development of the script? And you say you put some money into that writing. Who was the writers and how?
And vowed to help Meech out. They met in the county jail in Detroit.
So he never knew him prior to going to jail.
Yes, they met in the county jail in Detroit. When Meech first got indicted, he was in the county jail.
Oh, so he home now.
Indictment is out of Detroit.
Oh, all right, yeah, but I say his case definitely should have got thrown out.
And vowed to help Meech out. They met in the county. They befriended one another in the county. And Fidel was reaching out to Tammy just to keep up with Meech, unbeknown to him that Tammy and Meech was trying to set him up. He didn't have no interest in none of the stuff that she was trying to do. He just wanted to make sure, hey, man, how's my man doing? How much money he need for an appeal? I mean, just a good dude.
So he wasn't. All along, so it wasn't like the feds set him up. They didn't send a guy in.
That's what the paperwork say.
No. They didn't send no. They went to county jail.
Yeah.
No. Fidel and two or three other Mexicans got caught with 97 kilos of cocaine at a truck stop. And they beat it in trial while they was in the county jail with Meech in 2005 or 2006. They beat the case in trial. Well, he exchanged information with Meech and vowed to help him out, and that's all he was doing.
And he set him up.
So why did they make him a target? Because they knew who he was?
Who, Fidel?
Meech knew who he was.
Fidel's a known cartel member. Yes, they know who Fidel is.
Okay, understood. So what's his status now? Did he beat his case? Is he all right, or did he get?
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah. So the other play was for them to mess me around so that I can turn into a rat or a dirty bastard and bring him in. But the buck stops with me. I'm not cut that way. You feel me?
Fidel never had any interest in doing anything other than just being a solid friend to Meech and making sure that while he was in jail, let me help you out. Because most people know that when you're in jail, especially high-level guys, they're going to be watching you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, ain't no doubt. No, Fidel didn't have no interest in anything else other than helping dude out. Like he would constantly say, man, we're going to find the best attorney in America. And whatever it costs, I'm gonna pay it. And just genuinely like the dude.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, yo. Damn, they gonna send me all the way back up here? We gotta go to part 3, y'all. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, donate to the platform, y'all. Support the movement. Keep it G News. We're family. We don't hold no cut cards. Right now, Meech looking like a rat. Meech is looking like a rat. A dirty one, too. Like a New York City one. You know how big New York City rats is?
So they tried
Buck Fidel,
right,
and directed this toward me.
But the original target was Fidel. So how much did he incur in terms of legal action or pursuit? Did they try to pursue him at the same time, or once they knew you were in the mix, they was like, fuck him, let's just get
They dropped him. They was like, fuck him. And it was really hard explaining this to a federal judge. So you went at this nigga, Cuff, over a known cartel member who not only beat you all out in 2005, they had a hard time in the courtroom explaining that to the judge.
It's some big rats.
But that's just how much vitriol they have for brothers. You understand?
Right. And this was a case out of St. Louis. The indictment that came down where they attempted to get you was coming out. Did that originate out of St. Louis?
It originated out of Atlanta, Georgia, but it stuck to the highest power. So the agent gave it to the St. Louis agents. So all the work and all the dirty shit was done in Atlanta, and so that raised red flags. So the judge was like, "Why would you bring this case down there and not file it in Atlanta, Georgia?" Well, we just felt like
I said the same thing.
And so none of it made any sense.
It didn't make sense.
Damn. So from what I understand, Cuff, they got you on some bullshit, a ghost gun, and a bunch of bullshit. How long have you been in? And what is your chances of beating this now and getting out early on what you've been served?
We believe, by the mercy of Allah, that we are in really, really good shape. When Meech and them case went in the toilet, they indicted me on 2 homicides.
Wow.
They panicked and they indicted me on 2 homicides based on my co-defendant statements. So I had to plead. I had to plead to 27 years.
How long you been in?
Since 2013. Okay. So what ended up happening was I pled to the conspiracy with Tammy Cowins, and there was 10 years for that, which I finished. And now I'm serving the 17 years. So this is what happened. Instead of me pleading to the murders, they let me plead to an invisible gun, homie.
That's dirty right there.
At the time, I didn't know the significance
Big
of it
Meech
because 27
telling.
years is 27 years. I didn't know any better. But my attorney told me that they fucked up. You don't have a gun. You never had a gun.
Yeah, that's dirty right there.
You having a gun, and they let you plead to a gun.
So, based on procedure, it sounds like they broke a lot of the rules and procedures. So you may have grounds to get appealed or to get released because you've done a significant portion of your time.
No. Ain't no morals and principles in this system. Based on the law of the possession, you have to possess. I have to have a gun. It's really simple. It's like me charging you with stolen property. The government has to have the property. It can't be just words. Well, mine is just words, if that makes sense to you.
That's crazy.
The lower courts are saying to the appellate courts, and that's where it's stuck at now, that the government must produce a gun. Well, there is no gun. You understand? Because I pled based on some statements. The government don't have a weapon. Like everybody in here who got gun charges, you can look in their paperwork. It says a 38 Smith & Wesson, made in West Virginia, serial number, blah, 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 blah. I don't have none of that because they don't have a gun, if that makes sense to you.
So they basically forged your case, so you may have an additional case later on for false imprisonment.
Well, no, because what you have to do is file ineffective assistance of counsel and file the appeal the way we file the appeal. And your relief is basically the court saying, the higher court saying that if you don't have a weapon, you must release him. And the government don't have a weapon. So they know they're in trouble. They know that this is one big quagmire, and that's where we're at.
You're gonna see the fuck out
now. So
now.
you're basically just waiting for the due diligence now for them to run out of time to produce this item that never existed.
Well, no. We're waiting on a case called U.S. versus Anderson. Anderson case is similar to mine, very similar, identical to mine. And that's the preceding case. That means that it came before mine. But my case is identical to U.S. versus Anderson. Once they rule on Anderson, and the courts are saying that you have to, in order for Anderson to be found guilty or held on a weapon, the government must possess a weapon. So we're going to, and we're following the same, we fall up under that same guideline.
Excellent. And how's that proceeding now? Is that moving forward through the course?
That's moving forward in the courts, and that's a proceeding case. A lot of people are waiting on, because in this federal system for decades they was locking up black and brown men on ghost drugs. Well, that got ruled unconstitutional, and now the same thing is getting ready to happen, where white folks are charging black and brown men with ghost guns.
Wow. It sounds like you become kind of legally up in there, man. You familiar with Isaac Wright?
Isaac Wright, not offhand.
He's the guy who 50 Cent did a TV show on. He was a guy who got convicted on some RICO charges, and he became an attorney while in jail.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that. And 50 did a story or was trying to do it, based one of them series off of him. Yeah, I heard about him.
Yep. He beat his case.
Hey, man, Cal, this joint finna cut off, man. You know we only get 15 minutes.
Already know.
When you're talking with a real guy, I can talk to you all day. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. Shit. I don't think it ain't too much else we need to see on that. Everything he said lines right up with the paperwork. Everything he said. And he raised the same questions I raised without ever even listening to his interview. Like there was no excuse for Meech's name to be in his paperwork in 2012 when Meech got booked in 2005. It's no excuse for that. It's no excuse for that, man. He set that boy up, man. Set that boy up. And they did him just like how they did Rylaw. Just like, similar. Where he set the boy up, got somebody arrested, and he didn't get a deal. He didn't get no deal. He ain't benefit off of it or nothing. Now he just gonna come on with dirty rat. Dirty motherfuckers, man. That shit just pissed me off, man. You something wrong right about that, boy. Yeah, but y'all know we be back live on another 2 hours and 15 minutes. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if you want to donate to the platform. Cash App at the bottom of the screen. Baltimore swag. We ain't standing with Meech over here. You know, Meech a wild ass dude, man. They try to use that girl to get a deal, cause he ain't want to be known as a rat. And what happened was, when her name was ready to be publicly revealed, she ran down to the police station. I mean, not the police station. She ran down to the prison he was at to see what they can do, and she couldn't sit. That's why she ran to that fucking prison. Her name was ready to get revealed. And his case, their whole case was ready to be blown. Ain't nobody fucking stupid. I ain't even had to hear the dude Cuffy say that to know that. Her case was ready to get blown. Her name was ready to get revealed, and she ran down there to try to see what they can do. Dirty bastard. Let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments. Another day, keep it G News, and I'm out.